being in a Spider-Man game. Like, you could do this at incredible lengths. You could do it off cliffs and edges, and it's how you reposition. You know, this time around, you know, we went from the arenas of Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 and those arena fights to the battlefields of Doom the Dark Ages. And so the way that the enemies are designed and the way that they set up is kind of like in formations because they're waiting for you. You know, more of like a military style to the encounters, especially in the formation stuff, where they're literally set up and you kind of have to chip away at their phalanx and break down their defenses to get to the leader, which is just there to kind of like, you know, provide you guys with something new. We're just obsessed with doing new things for you.
Yeah, I mean,
We never want to do more of the same.
Did I see Trump? Did he do something stupid?
Why the Qataris are happy.
Don't see anything new. What do you think of Doom Dark Ages? It's fun, but it's not a very good game. It's way overpriced considering how not that good the game is. So it's like a $30 value, but they're charging you like what, $80 for the Canadian? Like if we're talking about CAD, and with the premium edition, I spent $145 on it. I refunded it. It's nowhere near that value. I'd be willing to play through the campaign if it was $30, but yeah, that's just way too much money. There's a lot of balancing issues in the game, and the fundamental thing they went with the shield parries, I think was fucking stupid.
Most Doom are most 93, the most of any of the reboots has ever felt like 1993's Doom because of the slow-moving projectiles, just like in the original.
Does not feel like the original Doom.
Focus.
You should play Wuthering Waves.
Yeah,
And then,
to your point, that
whatever we have next, we'll mix it all.
What the hell even is that? Wuthering Waves. Yeah, I'm not playing that. Thanks for the donation, Majin Buu. Booty come $22 this. Oh, okay. Let me see.
We have thousands of stories talking about it, and we have documentaries, we have news stories, and is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and I have to. It has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. So whatever you want to do, we can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament. Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill.
He looks very uncomfortable right now.
Revolution demands that at some point there must be killing because the
Yeah, there's a little nervous tick.
killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill.
That's actually pretty based of Trump, I gotta admit.
Poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Pa, 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 pa. Kill. Namaza. Kill. Poor, the farmer. Kill.
Oh, this guy's starting to
The
sweat.
man of D-Day in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Sunni will not be touched. They will be touched, don't worry. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot to kill. No answer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Pa, pa, pa. Shoot to kill. No answer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Pa,
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but, I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocide on that.
Can't take it.
He's showing the guy a pretty fucking long clip of this.
These are very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers, and those cars.
Bootycom Donny Tiller's Oval Office is a reaction channel now. Yeah. It's kind of turning into, literally a YouTube channel. There's paid advertisements, like with the whole Tesla thing. Random, like, drama, you know, with, like, Trump and Zelensky and everything. And, now there's, like, some React content. Thanks for the donation, Bootycam.
Aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses.
For you to be convinced that there's no genocide. Thank you, Mr. President.
I don't know why the fuck he's calling it a genocide. Like, that's retarded, but there's definitely political persecution of whites in South Africa.
Whenever when I see Doom Eternal players trying to min-max by weapon switching, which you can do, I'm not saying you can't do that, but when we had it like that, when we started pushing you to use different weapons in different situations, that cognitive load just kind of became very frustrating, because I'm already trying to solve all these problems with my shield, and now you want me to start, you know, min-maxing with my guns. You know, I think...
Oh, there you go. He admitted it. Oh, it was difficult, so we made it easy for all the dum-dums.
What you're going to be doing is weaving between projectiles. Movement is so key in this, and a lot of that mental energy is going to be saved for solving problems with your shield.
Dude, it's hilarious. The game is so ridiculously easy. I was playing it on Nightmare. It's maybe slightly more difficult than Doom Eternal on easy.
And then just doing massive damage with your guns. So that's by design. I think the flow state in this game is easier to achieve as a result. Like, I think it's not as hard to get into the flow state.
Yeah, it's hilarious. He literally admitted, oh, that would take skill and it's difficult, so we got rid of it. Like, oh my god.
As it was for some in Eternal.
Right.
And with a simpler control scheme, we could ask more of you. So that's why there's so many enemies on the field with so many projectiles, because you're fighting the bad guys, not your controls.
True. Yeah, I mean, just the default things of what I think you gravitate towards.
Such an idiotic statement.
When you're holding a controller or, you know, holding a mouse and keyboard, like controlling that, it's like they kind of fall into like the right buttons in the right places versus again, like you're saying in Eternal, it's very like, if you didn't go to school and study the fact that when this thing happens, you know, when this thing pops up, the fix is, you know, you got either precision scope better actitrons, you know, gun turret, or you got a sticky bomb it, or you got a, it's like, it became so situational, which in the flow of combat could, you know, overwhelm people easily if they're not dialed into that, which takes, you know, some practice and some time, which you can't.
That is actually fucking embarrassing. They're literally admitting, yeah, a lot of casual players like complained that the game was hard, so we made it easy for them. And apparently this game is not doing anywhere nearly as well as Doom Eternal. It's not selling as well, and there's a massive amount of refunds on Steam. So it really pays off listening to the fucking retards who play your game and complained. All the retards who are fucking loser dumbasses who can't play video games, who happened to buy the game and started complaining, hey, this is hard. Listening to them really pays off. Oh, okay, we'll make the game for fucking loser dipshit retards next time. And then you don't sell as many fucking copies. What a fucking surprise.
So May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you know, you have incredible land.
I'm pretty sure it's not selling as well as Doom Eternal. They may actually end up making more money from it because they're selling it at a higher price, and they clearly did not spend nearly as much money on the development of the game. So cheaper development process, charging more money. They may actually make more money than they did with Doom Eternal, but in terms of like raw sales, I don't think they're actually doing as well. Some of the stats that they're using, like Game Pass, are extremely misleading. If you actually look at digital and physical sales, not the stupid fucking Game Pass numbers that don't count, pretty sure it's not selling as well.
Tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that.
Yeah, Bethesda tweeted it's the biggest launch in history and hit 3 million players. Yeah, because of fucking Game Pass, idiot. So people are playing it for fucking free, and then they don't have to worry about a fucking refund. So the Game Pass is fucking bullshit. It doesn't count. That's just a very easy way for them to inflate some of the fucking player numbers. Assassin's Creed Shadows did a similar thing, where they massively inflated some of their fucking player numbers because people, I think, were playing that game off a subscription service or something. So that game was a complete and utter fucking flop. So yeah, read between the lines. That's just due to Game Pass, dude.
The value in the land, the value you have. You know, we have a situation, I think you probably heard about it. We've done, through some very talented people, helped settle a war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo. And I think we've done it. Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And Could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, they signed the two parties signed a declaration of principle in which they agreed on the way forward, and they have both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
No, we have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area, and we hope that with the support of the...
What vegan protein powder do you use right now? I want to order some.
Why in the fuck do you have to eat the protein powder that I'm eating? Don't know why it fucking matters. What's the bullshit called? Lean Fit, organic plant-based protein.
Keel D
chocolate
A
flavor.
Fama. Keel D A Bor. Shoot to kill. Degenerates. Did you know Trump was lying about those videos though? That man is not an elected official in SA and is a communist. The burial site was not a burial site, it was a protest.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, he lies about a lot of things. And he also doesn't know what he's talking about. Thanks for the donation, Sid. Yeah, so it's called Lean Fit, organic plant-based protein. I get the chocolate flavor. The vanilla tastes good, though, too. Thanks for the donation, Anonymous.
International community. We will really have peace in that area. It's so vital, it's so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job, as headed by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports, because all I'm hearing is death, death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like that. It looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for the. It's like if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade. We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and I said, "What are you guys doing?" You know, somebody said, "What the hell?"
Criminality, and that is what I believe partnership is all about. And
I expect everybody's going to sit there and be like, I want to. There now is 3 pillars.
So donate to others. People assume you know what the best protein powder is. That's why they want to order what you're taking. Trump also keeps saying Qatar is investing $5.1 trillion. First, it was $1.2 trillion, by the way. Qatar's GDP of around $200 billion. Joe Biden has dementia. Yeah, he's lying about all of that. Like what? He asked to have their stupid plane that it looks like he's trying to take ownership of once he leaves the White House. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's making up this fucking bullshit to justify taking more bribes from Qatar. And I don't know if Joe Biden has dementia. He probably has age-related cognitive decline, but I don't think he has dementia. Thanks for the donation, Sid.
People, you guys showed me the concept art of the Pinky Rider, and I was like, oh shit,
right.
That's it. Like, now I get the whole thing. Like, there's something about, you guys talk about this a lot, but the whole, like, it feels both incredible high art, but also, like, executed in such a way where this is, like, the best artist in any school that sat down on a piece of lined paper and drew this in a math class where they were paying zero attention to the teacher. Like,
yeah,
that is the vibe. You know what I mean?
The original Doom is designed that way. I mean, it's very juvenile, and it's so like very juvenile. Always kind of feels like it's something that a kid would draw in the back of math class in his notebook.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of metal vibe. There's an Evil Dead-ish tone to everything, which is all part of the founders, people who made the original Doom. It's part of their
like
design ethos. Like it's all meant to make you smile. So absolutely, there is a joyful, juvenile quality to, and super metal. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you put your horns in the air for, right? Oh jeez. Got to break out the metal horns when you're drawing this stuff.
I like how you're I was gonna say you're really waiting on that. Speaking of, MMA Fro again asked about, speaking of the Pinky Riders, how much of Lord of the Rings was an inspiration for this game?
All of it. I mean, the genre of fantasy overall, but we really wanted to, get our own space. Sorry, to carve out our own space.
As you're carving out this giant titan right now, his arms are falling off.
Just create a style and a visual style that stood out in the fantasy space. That was kind of uniquely Doom, and super heavy metal and totally ridiculous.
And I like how here in this cinematic we see the kind of like they're not on the same side exactly right now. Like,
there are benefits to using wrist wraps almost all the time when benching overhead pressing, or is there a benefit to pressing heavy without wrist wraps sometimes as well? You're going to be able to bench with more weight. You're going to be able to bench with more weight and overhead press with more weight if you use wrist wraps. So if the whole point of doing bench and overhead press is to increase your chest, shoulder, and tricep strength, then you're going to build more chest, shoulder, tricep strength, and muscle mass if you use wrist wraps. The only reason you might not want to use wrist wraps is because maybe you compete in a federation or something that doesn't let you use wrist wraps, like some powerlifting federation. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure all of them allow you to use wrist wraps. Maybe you just have some like weird ideological personal issue with using any equipment when training, but yeah, you're probably better off using wrist wraps when you're benching and overhead pressing because you're just going to build more muscle mass and strength. It's probably also safer too because your wrists are less likely to roll when you're pressing.
Nietzsche was just an arsehole elitist who celebrated the Hindu law book called Manu Samriti, which calls for the oppression of lower castes and women.
Can't say I give two fucking shits, but thanks for the donation, Elias. Dodo donated $2. I bet you Qatar did tell Trump they would invest 1.2 trillion, and he just believes it because he's gullible. But these Gulf states like to do that, like Saudi Arabia, announcing big projects they will never and cannot do, like the line and whatnot. They do this. Seeing as how he keeps changing the numbers, I don't think it quite went down that way. It sounds more like he wanted to make a deal because he's basically receiving bribes from Qatar. And now he's just making up lies to justify some of this horse shit. The line is a stupid project. It's just due to incompetence of their leadership. That's all it really is. That's pretty much every building project in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
What vegan underwear do you wear? What brand toilet paper do you use to wipe your vast empty mess of a black hole? What vegan lotion do you use on the lady boys that you visit? Is it scented or UN? Is your TV vegan? We want to eat as the Chads do. Lol.
Yes. That is correct. Thanks for the donation, copy and paste.
So let me see. It would be a set.
Okay.
All done in one day because I did like a ton of them.
A lot of British voice acting that day. Are you like a Michael Caine? I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out.
All right, let me listen to see if this is so embarrassing. Like I can't believe it's the corniest shit. Please understand, it's like 7 in the morning. My wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to figure something out." You know.
She sees you in the closet doing a British accent. She's like, "I'm just gonna let him finish whatever he's doing in there."
All right, let me see if I can hear it. Hold on.
All right. Oh,
this is it.
I think we can. Okay, you're not muted, so we can.
No,
I
don't think it.
You found
I don't think
it?
anybody. I don't. This is the most embarrassing shit I've ever heard. So
10 out of 10. We're right.
So how does this stuff, come about? You just get an idea. You start for all the creators out there. Don't judge yourself. Like you have to just, creating is all about recreating. You just, I always tell people you're 1,000 bad pieces of art away from being a good artist. So hurry up and start making those bad pieces of art. So this is some bad art. You're going to hear some of that like right now. So how do I guess I play it into the thing?
Yeah, you don't have to be super close, just like kind of close.
I'm not sure,
And I don't think it's this mic. I think it's the one that's, if you have one that looks like...
That guy appears to be very good at bicycling. That all looks highly, highly difficult. Dodo donators, can we watch the new Frank Tufano video and shorts? Oh yeah, I did upload new. Crap, yeah, we can do that. Trump administration just accepted the luxury jet from Qatar. This comes after last night we found out that Trump was the one who originally asked for the jet from Qatar. Corruption now is officially okay for Republicans. Remember the outrage over Hunter Biden having a job overseas? Yeah, really. Fucking insane. The 24-year-old that became famous for licking toilets on social media, then propelled into EU Parliament by a massive Russian propaganda campaign, gets totally destroyed. Epic.
So you're saying there's no one looking into it right now.
Only evidence, not
you're trying to derail this interview talking about Turkey. I'm not interested in Turkey right now. Turkey could be another conversation. Today I'm talking about Russia because you're putting out Russian propaganda now, today. Why are you doing it? And you're avoiding my questions. You keep talking about Turkey. Turkey is irrelevant in this situation. I'm not answering questions from you. This isn't your channel. Why do you support the kidnapping of Ukrainian children? Why did you abstain afterwards but vote for?
Okay, some of the kids there, they might want to be.
What are you talking about? What do you mean they want to be? They are children that were kidnapped by Russia. What do you mean they want to be? What on earth are you talking about?
A lot of kids, they want to return and they should return if they want to.
What children? No. Where did you get that from? What children want to be returned, want to stay in Russia? And how do you even know that?
How do you even know that there is some children that they are happy with?
Because they have been
there?
kidnapped.
How do you know out of these 20,000 children, everyone?
How did they even set this up? Usually these slime balls just avoid situations like this. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Maybe we'll watch the rest of that later. This was filmed before Frank had reconstructile surgery. It's literally impossible to make a spelling mistake like that unless you're retarded, because R is nowhere close to V on a keyboard. So, like, if he said reconstructib or something, or reconstructis, because, like, the letters are right next to each other, I can kind of understand that. Like, it's just a dumb mistake. But I don't know how the fuck you can say reconstructire. If you can place an order to help support his medical bills. Why was it written out like this? Was filmed before Frank had reconstructile surgery. If you can place an order to help support his medical bills. Why doesn't it say placing an order will help support his medical bills and is much appreciated? Like, why would it say something like that? It's like it's as if this was part of a sentence that got cut off.
What's up? How are you guys? We're down here at Frankie's Free Range Meat. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but it's raining outside and we have the metal roof, so maybe you guys can hear that. No more excuse for the USDA to deny my SNAP EBT application, because we are officially open for business, as if it wasn't clear enough by the 6 years I've already been selling stuff. So the federal judge denied my lawsuit against the USDA, so we're going to have to file it in the state court, see if we have any better luck to get compensated. I mean, imagine, you know, we're talking probably millions of dollars here, not allowing me to use EBT payments for all these years of running my business, which is completely ridiculous and disgusting bias that, you know, it's really these billionaire corporations are just harassing small business owners because they will do anything to remove the competition. Enough of that.
Right.
But we're just going to do what we normally do, show you guys all the new products we have, what we've been doing these past few weeks. So
why does his face look especially frozen and crooked right now? Was he getting like injections of Botox or something? Cam $22. This guy stops you while riding. What do you do? Yeah, I've seen that. I just tell him I don't fucking care. Thanks for the donation, Cam.
So we got, you know, all these freezers and coolers out front. We got Square as the payment provider, so they can't bust our balls anymore. We did get the potato chip manufacturing equipment in, but with all the issues we've had, I ran out of money, and I'm trying to get a bank loan to finish setting that up. But the bakery has been going well. I think we do have a few new products this week. You guys really like the pot pies. We sold out. I mean, we only made like 30 of them, but we're gonna try to make more this week and get those back in stock. They're really delicious, really convenient, and even though they're, you know, multiple times the price of a normal pot pie, I think for the volume of food you're getting, it's actually cheaper. So just quick in here on the foods, we've restocked a few things and we do have a few new products, mainly applesauce. So this I think is $5. You get 4 applesauce pouches. I like this because it's really convenient for on the go. We do have the jarred Honeycrisp apples, but this is even more convenient, and I really like this product because all you have to do is you unscrew the top and you just kind of suck out the applesauce. Reminds me of like Go-Gurt. I don't know how many of you guys had that when you were a kid, but
Go-Gurt is the most disgusting, horrendous shit that I think has ever been created by humanity. That shit was worse than like OG Domino's pizza. Oh my god, that was like the most horrible, vile shit ever fucking created.
I'll eat like this whole thing at once with my meal. Maybe we'll have the glass jars too that are a bit larger. You know, it's just sometimes, you know, you feel like...
Seriously, like, I genuinely mean this. I'm not even exaggerating. If you like yogurt, you are a degenerate piece of shit. Like, you are a lower class of fucking human being if you genuinely like yogurt. And if you actually like something even worse, Go-Gurt, of all things, like one of the lowest tier yogurts you can possibly eat, you don't deserve to live. There's people who believe pineapple belongs on pizza, and then there's people who like yogurt. Like, pineapple on pizza motherfuckers, like, are deranged. But if you like yogurt, don't live. Like, either rope and re-roll or go to the fucking moon or something. You don't belong among, like, actual human beings.
Applesauce convenience over just having raw Honeycrisp apples. But everything else here is the same. Pecan butter restocked this week. Over here, the main restock is the meat granola that we ran out of. But we've been keeping up with the chocolate chip granola bars, the pemmican, and everything else. We also restocked the Rice Krispie treats today. We haven't had those for a little while. The best bars still in stock. The collagen crisp, we haven't had any time to fix the recipe. Dark chocolate hazelnut, these actually aren't that hard. Maybe those are still sellable, but we'll have to see. Decent amount of beef jerky still in stock, running low on the biltong. For the fats, I guess the restock here is we do have the marrow oil back. We don't have too much room to maneuver around in the fridge, but we do have some raw cheeses back in stock, mainly the raw cheddar came in this week, and there's been a lot of additions to the sheep and goat dairy products. If you guys haven't been keeping track over the past few weeks, especially now that everything is in glass for the most part, without a price increase. So before we hop in the fridge and go over there, I'm gonna show you guys the other businesses. Frankie's Naturals, most of you know, we launched all the 10 new products over the past few months. We got the shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, hair pomade, toothpaste, deodorant, whipped moisturizing cream, beef tallow, the beef tallow bar soap. We got sunscreen and shaving cream on the bottom, and we should have the marrow moisturizing cream back in stock maybe next week. Over here, organ supplements, we have so much stuff, guys, from all the vitamin and mineral formulations, the macronutrient enzymes. This is a very, very special product. We have the probiotic in the fridge, all the different beef glandulars that I take every morning. For me, I take the male virility combined with the third eye.
It's insane how people actually buy this shit. I hope the CIA is in on this, and this is all some, like, crazy government conspiracy to institute a eugenics program. Like, maybe Frank Tufano is unknowingly part of MK Ultra or something, and he doesn't actually realize he's being used by the CIA. And the CIA basically brainwashed him into setting up his YouTube channel and the stupid business so that only idiots would buy his fucking supplements. And all of these dumb supplements he's selling are some sort of thing to chemically castrate you so that you won't be able to have fucking kids.
The adrenal and the immune strength, I do that every day. And my breakfast is actually some of these collagen peptides mixed in with our energy drink because I like to add more protein. I actually ran out today, so I'm just gonna bring some more home. I just do like 3 scoops of the Sky High Energy and like 4 or 5 scoops of the collagen peptides in a blender, mix it up, let it sit for a few minutes to let the foam go down, and that's been my breakfast, getting me through the day for a few hours. Most of you guys know Wi-Fi shielding, I'm always wearing my hat. We got the silver lined inside here, and then I always have the clothing on. I got on 2 EMF protected shirts.
Did he get another fucking tattoo of a rope? What is wrong with him? Like, he's getting all of these trash, garbage tattoos all of a sudden.
And not only did I have that Sky High smoothie with some collagen for breakfast, when I got down here a few hours later, I had another of the probiotic version, which I like better. It's really tasty, and I actually feel better with the probiotic one. It's just, you know, the powder is more convenient for home. I'll show you guys that real quick here. Yeah, so this is the water kefir version of the Sky High Organic Energy. So this one is on the Foods website. It's nice and fermented. It's like a probiotic soda plus energy drink combined. So really, really special. Nothing else on the market like it. And then our probiotic from Morgan Supplements is actually in the fridge here to stay fresh and good. And we do have the regular water kefir in stock and available now. Yeah, so
Dodo, $20. What sauce is on your tofu? It's Korean barbecue sauce. And do you have anything else? With it right now or just tofu? How many blocks was that? And did you bake it or fry it in a pan before you toss the sauce on it? I'm having the tofu with broccoli, some sweet potato, and brown rice. And I pan-fried the tofu. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
we have a lot of that strawberry skyr at a very low price. I think it's like $3 or $4 a jar, but I'm probably losing money on it at this point. Some of the vanilla as well. Here's some more raw dairy products. That's Cow's strawberry yogurt. What's this over here? Some of the plain skyr. We got a lot of skyr. A lot of skim milk yogurt. Here's just all the regular raw cheeses that you guys saw in the fridge over there. And then we have our baked goods, our pastry selection. Here is the new product this week. These are apple jelly donuts. He didn't put as much apple jelly in them as I'd like, but these are actually really good, really delicious. I like these a lot. I should have probably had a few for breakfast. And the second new product is Oreo cookies. I really, really like these, and to have Oreo cookies to me is something really special. Hopefully you guys buy these before they go bad in a week or two.
He literally just got a cease and desist from the Mars Candy Company for violating copyright of Twix bars. And now he's doing the same thing, selling knockoff Oreos. Like, what? Is he that stupid?
He made chocolate whoopies, which you guys haven't really bought any, so I'm gonna get my...
Oh, there you go. Another copyright infringement. What is this fucking problem? Dodo Donatellos, does Jasmine like yogurt? No. Would you let her order vegan yogurt with your money? No, never. Did you ever see vegan yogurt in the fridge and then tell Jasmine you want her dead? No. If she ever ate yogurt in the house, that would have been it. I would have divorced her immediately. Under no circumstances would I ever fucking permit anybody to have yogurt in my fridge. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
My money back for those and send them back. I'm going broke here. But then we just have the classics that you guys like. apple pie, chocolate chip cookies, white chocolate chip cookies. We have some blueberry pie. We got the custard donuts, which haven't really been selling that well, so we'll probably have to make a lot less next batch. I'll give you guys a look at the bologna pork here. So this is our regular Iberico bologna shoulder that we've been selling. That's around like $20 for 2 ounces. So what we're gonna try though is the ham, which we should have it ready this week. It's not ready now on the website. I'm just showing you guys because I know some people like looking at cool new stuff. So now this ham is a little overpriced, which is why I didn't want to buy it in the first place. You know, how much more are they charging me for this fancy box and bag?
Is fish vegan? Gee, is fish vegan? Let me look it up. Let's see. This doesn't look like any vegetable I've ever seen. What fucking plant do you think this is like a member of? Do you think it's like a broccoli? Or maybe it's like related to corn or soybeans? Congratulations, you're banned. I don't need retarded fucking children in my chat. Go fuck yourself.
But this will be around $30 for a 2-ounce portion. But this is the full Iberico boneless ham. This cost me an absolute fortune, and you know, I'm charging you guys a lot of money, but that's like the bare minimum. I'm basically breaking even because I want to offer you guys this really, really special product. So the bologna that you guys have been is a more affordable shoulder cut, but we're gonna switch to the ham too and have both options available at the correct price points. You know, I thought it was a good idea to start with the shoulder to be as affordable as possible, and then this is literally like double the price for me. So we should have that available in another week or two. So this is all of our raw milk in the half gallon. You guys could see that nice, it's like half cream. It's kind of crazy. So that's in the half gallon plastic. That's a little more affordable. We have both cow's milk and goat milk available in the larger size. And then here's the glass milk. So this is the glass. Still nice cream separation on the glass bottled milk. And then, yes, some of you guys, by the way, are busting my balls. We're trying to get refunds like, hey, why is my milk in a water bottle? Because that's the most affordable way to do it. If you want to pay $2 more for us to buy the glass, don't think so. Yeah, here's the goat milk.
Like, he's reusing a container. I don't know if that increases risk of, like, contamination, because, again, considering it's Frank, I don't know if he actually takes the time to ensure some of these things are, like, sterilized or cleaned properly. Who the fuck knows? Like, it's really weird. And then he, like... I mean, the shit on his website is so fucking expensive as it is. The idea that people wouldn't pay $2 more for, you know, some, like, high-end Amish, you know, dairy product, like, I don't know why he's doing that. And then he's, like, sending the shit out in the mail that looks like weird shit made in, like, somebody's tool shed. It just seems like a really bad idea. Like... And clearly people are fucking complaining, if he explicitly mentioned it. So why is he doing that? He's really stupid. Thanks for the donation, Masashi Blade. Appreciate it. Death of Rabbit, donate $2. Oh, what type of plant is this? Is it vegan? Is it in the corn family? You're banned, VG. Well, he was asking me about fish, not bivalves. Thanks for the donation, though, Death of Rabbit.
Goat milk, that looks really good. Nice half-gallon goat milk, and then we have the quart of goat milk in the glass as well. So we have both the plastic and glass option, and everything else for the most part we're trying to do in
Dude. You know, I've noticed cow and goat milk are sort of like normal, but like imagine if somebody tried to sell donkey milk. Something sounds wrong about that, right? Donkey milk? What's another weird one? Maybe like dog or cat milk? Badger milk? Skunk milk would be great. People are fucking stupid, dude.
I remember asking you about eugenics about a year ago and you reacted like a pussy claiming that it will be harmful for society. Lol, will you make a video in the future on the Jasmine issue? You think she will make a statement online regarding you?
I couldn't fucking care less if she blabs about me online. She's a fucking dumbass. Nobody cares what she has to say. I'm not ever gonna bother making a video about her because she's not worth my fucking time. Why would I, like, I don't care. She's nothing to me, and I couldn't fucking care less. So, whatever. Thanks for the donation, Elias. Dodo donated $2. When did you develop your deep hatred of yogurt? As long as I could remember. I would literally start fights with kids in school if they ate yogurt anywhere fucking near me. I'm dead fucking serious. If somebody opened up a carton of fucking yogurt, I'd tell them, you're either fucking leaving or I'm gonna make you leave. I've always hated yogurt since the day I was fucking born, and it has been my mission to make sure yogurt eaters are fucking subjugated, arrested, fined, beaten, murdered, you name it. I will bring an end to all yogurt eating fucking degenerates. So much hate that you would have divorced Jasmine if she ever ate vegan yogurt. Oh, yeah. Just because you personally find it gross and sour, also, do you feel the same about kimchi and sauerkraut or kombucha? Kimchi is fucking terrible. It literally just tastes like fucking rotten socks. I don't understand the hype around kimchi. Like, it's just fucking gross. And that's, like, anytime I've had some, like, South Korean dish at a vegan restaurant that has kimchi, it's always been fucking terrible. It's still not as bad as yogurt. I don't know if I've ever had sauerkraut. I have had kombucha. It's not that great. Like, I think you're probably stupid if you like kimchi. I don't know about sauerkraut. Kombucha, I don't have any strong opinions on, but, yeah, yogurt, you're just a fucking degenerate. You are lower than the scum that shop at Walmart. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Is fish vegan? To answer your question, from Richard's vegan perspective, yes, depending on the fish. Lobster is vegan, clams are vegan, mussels are vegan, crabs are vegan. Oh, also wild caught fish is vegan because they are carnivores. According to Richie.
It's not my opinion, but thanks for the donation. 21st.
How are you?
I feel sick and tired. I need a... I don't know what I need. I might need to vomit or something. Maybe I just haven't taken enough fentanyl yet. But I feel sick and tired. I hurt my neck today. I was overhead pressing, and the weight was moving very, very easily, but I misgrooved on the last rep of the last set, and it ended up being a super fucking grinder, and then I did something with my neck when that happened. So I'm just sick and tired and my neck hurts. But thanks for the donation, Nutmuffin.
Death of rabbit. Fun fact: platypus have no nipples, so their milk comes out of their sweat glands.
That's pretty weird. Platypus are very weird animals. They're like duck beavers. Very, very strange. They're one of the few venomous mammals. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Ow! Gummy. Gummy. Gum gum. I literally fed you. Right before I made food, I fed you. This cat is insane. I finished working out, and right after he was meowing for his food. So I fucking fed him, and then I made my food, and then he starts screaming at me for more food. I just fed you! Like, non-stop that cat is hungry. I don't know what his fucking problem is.
Glass. I think we do still have some raw goat milk available in the pint plastic. So that might be a little cheaper, smaller size for now while we're trying to get everything sorted out. There's some kefir grains here. I think this is all the different sheep milk products. One thing we did restock this week is the garlic dill pickles. A lot of you guys like these, our natural lacto-fermented pickle spears. And then we just have way too many eggs. You know, we got like, I don't know, 10 pallets of eggs there, and then there's 3 more pallets of, yeah, look, we're overwhelmed with eggs right now. We gave away like, I think 100 boxes of eggs last week to our top customers, and we're gonna give away like 100 more boxes of eggs this week because I'm losing my mind. Like, I'm completely in debt and just giving product away because I've had enough. But what am I supposed to do? We have too many eggs. The egg market kind of slowed down, and I think I explained this last week. Like, I did explain this last week. I told my farmer 2-3 months ago, hey, if you want me to sell all your eggs, now's the time. Send me all of them. We'll get the customer base, the clientele, and we'll be good to go. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to wait 3 months for the egg sales to finally regulate, and then give me all his eggs, and then complain that I can't sell them myself. Whatever. We're gonna have to just take less eggs from him because I can't sell them. So I'm gonna have to switch over to my phone before.
Gingerbread donates $2. Fucking flabbergasted, dude. Lol, just got an email from my insurance relating to a minor incident I got into a year back, and they're saying the fat ghetto bitch I slightly hit on the back wants a settlement for $200K. Literally no damages on car at all. Well, it's what they do, dude. Let me guess. I went to the doctor 'cause my neck was hurting. And he says I need a backiotomy. And the backiotomy is gonna be about $200,000. Yeah, that's what they all do. So, yeah, they're clearly scamming. No shit, it's what fucking people do. Thanks for the donation, Gingerbread. Q donated $2. Let me see.
I urge you not to succumb to nihilism, because there are many other crises out there, especially...
I can't be fucked to listen to any of that horse shit. Pick one of the two below.
I have a couple more comments to make about... Artificial intelligence is
I don't care about the AI. Consciousness is not material. I don't know how we could figure that, because I know right where his consciousness is, and there's a reason why snipers aim for the fucking head. I guess I'll take a look at that. Thanks for the donation, Q.
He's going to have Oreos to go along with his Twinks bars.
I wouldn't be surprised if he called them that. Thanks for the donation, Masashi Blade. Dr. Avi donated $2. I eat vegan yogurt with lunch almost every day. Debate me. Sure. I'll debate you on that. Thanks for the donation, Dr. Avi.
consciousness. I just recorded those videos about the Chinese room and all that kind of stuff, and I want to clarify some of my personal views.
Hey, how is it going, VG?
Oh, this dumbass.
I die at 30. This is a common cope I've been hearing, that I'm going to die very young, and it's a way for people to cope with the fact that my quality of life is likely better than theirs. Now, what people don't know is that I'm very health conscious, and my biomarkers reflect that. My blood pressure is 120/65,
which is within the ideal range.
Which is within the ideal range. My LDL is actually below the range, which
let me see, what would that be?
Thought I would try one last attempt to culture you, Richard. If this don't, I'd quit will.
I'll take a look at that in a minute. Thanks for the donation, dude. So it's 88 milligrams per deciliter. Technically, where the fuck? This has to be an Australian thing. 2.6 millimoles. That would be over. Or no, wait. Maybe that's 100. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most lab work will actually recommend you get your LDL below 90 at this point. I think I think in America, maybe they still have most lab work saying below 100 is ideal. Ideally, you want your serum cholesterol to be below 70. The reason for that recommendation is because based on randomized trials, that's where atherosclerosis does not progress. So you're able to halt the progression of atherosclerosis so long as your LDL is below 70. So his LDL is still a little elevated. It doesn't put him in a high risk category, but it would be better if it's lower.
I put on screen now. My C-reactive protein is extremely low.
I don't know if that's technically extremely low. Every time I've gotten C-reactive protein tests, it's non-detectable.
My insulin sensitivity is extremely good, as noted by my fasted blood glucose, HbA1c, and HOMA-IR all being top tier. These biomarkers related to cardiac and kidney health, inflammation and oxidative stress, and insulin sensitivity.
some of that went by too quickly. I don't know if he actually... Any of those things he got were reflective of kidney health. I can't remember what this guy said he was taking in terms of compounds, but I vaguely remember him like mentioning Tren. I don't know. This guy is just a dumbass anyway. I'm pretty sure him and his buddy are fucking SARM goblins. I don't know why in the mother of a fuck they would take SARMs. They're the stupidest fucking drugs.
Are the most important markers to measure your risk of heart issues, kidney issues, or metabolic disease. I take many different compounds to optimize my health in these regards, which I'll talk about in part 2.
Well, he's on steroids, which is kind of funny. Pretty sure I'm still mogging this dude, and I'm natty. Yeah, I don't know. Gummy, get the hell out of there. Yeah, I don't know. Is it worth taking gear? Natty enhanced, natty enhanced, natty enhanced. Not sure if that's maybe for him he needs the drugs, but I wonder what I'd look like if I started blasting. I'd probably get like pretty fucking massive. Is he taller than me? Because I'm 6'3". Is he? What's his height? Like, regardless, even if he was an inch or two taller. Like, I don't know. Kind of still mog this dude. He looks bigger than you. Okay, well, thank you. You're blind and retarded.
If LDL 150 but CAC is 0, is that person still at risk for heart disease if all other metabolic markers are normal?
Oh, thanks for the big donation, Jason. So, coronary artery calcium score doesn't mean jack shit. Most people under the age of 50 are going to have a calcium score of 0 or near 0. Calcium score only measures calcified plaques, and the chances of you having any calcified plaques when you're under the age of 50 is pretty low. So you typically don't see any calcified plaques forming until over the age of 50, and usually well over the age of 50. Most of the plaques in your arteries are going to be non-calcified, and most people with a calcium score of 0 end up having heart attacks anyway. So it can show people. It can be an indicator of like very high risk. But yeah, coronary artery calcium scores are practically useless when it comes to assessing your real heart disease risk. So, the biggest predictor is going to be your LDL or ApoB score. ApoB just measures all of your lipid particles. LDL is a very good proxy. It's only in certain situations where it's not really going to accurately assess your true risk. So diabetics tend to have a very high ApoB score, but a deceptively low LDL. And that's due to the metabolic dysfunction they have from diabetes. But your average person with an LDL score of 150 is going to be in a high-risk category. If you happen to have a CAC score of 0, it doesn't mean shit. It just means that you probably, in all likelihood, have plaques in your arteries. It's just that they haven't calcified. All it means. But thanks for the donation, Jason Casper. Really appreciate that. Death of Rabbit. Did I skip you or...
Thought I would try one last attempt to culture you, Richard. If this don't, I'd quat will.
It's been a mighty long time since I sat in the house of my father and my mother, or seen that.
Yeah, I'll fucking look at your links, okay? Fucking Jesus Christ.
Woman of mine, yeah, that good loving gal of mine.
Fucking gay. Who the fuck listens to this shit, dude? This is the shit you should be listening to.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Now that's what you gotta listen to.
I do. Took the fire escape to her room and got stone raging blind. Left my money in the...
Gay.
Till his day's work is done and he rounds up the cattle each fall.
Also gay. Thanks for the donation, Death of Rabbit. Let's see these others.
What is LooksMaxxxing? To put it simply...
Oh, that's hilarious. He responded to Clavicle.
Imagine jamming your face full of...
Yeah. This fucking kid is unhinged.
So before we get started, I want to address a very...
We'll take a look at that. Thanks for the donation, Sokiyashi. Anonymous donated $2. Can you react?
Meat, you want to eat it anyway. No shade to vegans or vegetarians. I think it is awesome that you are mindful of what you put in your body because most people on the planet aren't. But, not trying to start any beef, why do you think that it's inhumane to eat meat, but then you make food items that resemble meat?
Why did you send me this? Thanks for the donation, dude.
Crazy Stain nutcases, that's who.
Yeah, that's correct. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Buddy, like, I don't fucking care. For whatever reason, there's random idiots who just discover this whole vegan thing, and then they come up with these stupid jokes that have been floating around for the last, like, 20 years, and they think, oh, no one's ever thought of this one before. It's literally like listening to Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road? Over and over and over again, and people thinking they're the first one who thought of the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? So don't send me that fucking garbage. Like, again, I've been listening to this shit for 15 fucking years, and I've even heard of some of these vegan jokes before then. Like, I don't care. Don't send me that trash. 100 grand donate to others when Muslims say India is anti-Muslim, LMFAO. They are anti-Muslim. I think, if I'm not mistaken, India has more Muslims than the whole Middle East and Pakistan combined. I'm doubtful of that. Maybe they do, just because of the sheer population they have, but I'm doubtful. They are, in fact, anti-Muslim. Non-Muslims in India do not like Muslims, and Modi has tried to make Muslim Indians basically non-citizens. Funny how anti-Muslim country allows 300 million Muslims. They sort of try not to. Thanks for the donation. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's the idea that you can max out your appearance in any way possible. This could be as simple as using a facial moisturizer, maybe getting some Botox, but it could get as exciting as threading your eyelids to make them have a positive canthal tilt. And man, I wish I was...
Fun fact: did you know that "Why did the chicken cross the road" is a suicide joke?
Didn't know that was the original intention behind the joke. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Musashi Blade donated $3. Let me see. I've already seen this. This is a very, very old meme, dude. Thanks for the donation.
Kidding about that. You might also be asking, what is positive canthal tilt? Your eyes have two corners, the inner near your nose and the outer near your temples, and the canthal tilt is the angle that these corners make. Think of it as like a straight line drawn from the inner corner to the outer corner. Does it slope up, or does it stay flat, or does it slope down? Positive canthal tilt is when the outer corner of your eye is tilted slightly up compared to the inner corner of your eye, creating this winged shape. Negative canthal tilt is when the outer corner of your eye is tilted downwards and the inner corner is tilted upwards. And the positive canthal tilt is associated with a degree of vibrancy, a appearance of attraction. So men will go to extreme lengths to create this tilt on their face, sometimes in a very artificial way. If this all sounds like a bit of overkill to be concerning yourself with, you would be absolutely correct.
The Sikhs fucked the Muslims up.
Sort of. Thanks for the donation, Musashi Blade.
Correct. Because in the reality and in the grand scheme of life, something such as canthal tilt doesn't really impact your day-to-day that much. But it's undeniable that in the marketplace of today, attraction does go a very, very long way and can build people's entire empires alone, just by looking attractive. A study in the Journal of Economics and Psychology found that attractive people earn about 10 to 15% more on average than unattractive peers. For men, height and facial symmetry correlate very well with higher salaries and holding leadership roles. For example, CEOs are disproportionately taller and more conventionally attractive than their counterparts. Research in human resource journals show a resume with a photo of an attractive candidate get about 36% more callbacks. University of Helsinki study that found unattractive men had to send 50% more job applications to land interviews. To be fair, this effect isn't as pronounced in laborious jobs or skill-demanded jobs like technicians, coders, and things like that. It is still prominent within these areas, enough so that it's statistically significant. But unfortunately, this isn't where the benefits stop of being attractive. The top 10% of men on Tinder receive 58% of all of the likes on Tinder.
Grey Knight donates $2, some good news, and some probably fake news. The good news. Oh, good. Oh, that is very good news. Retarded, possibly fake news. Restricted post. Can't view it. Well, thanks for the donation, Grey Knight. Appreciate it.
Tinder combined. This was in 2020, by the way, so now it's probably much worse. And are you familiar with the halo? And is it correct, or even safe for that matter? Well, in this video, we see Clavicular using bidirectional cogs he found on eBay. In translation, this means Walmart craft supplies to manufacture artificially a canthal tilt. What this is basically a non-surgical thread placed in a subcutaneous portion of your skin, so under that first layer of skin that will latch on and then anchor into your skin and then pull it tight so that you can artificially create a facelift without surgery. Now, keep in mind, while I'm showing you this, he's 18 years old. And as he pulls on the strings from his eyes, he says that if he died, at least he'd have positive canthal tilt. So obviously, he's right in the mind. You gotta love the internet. So many people here that are just worthy of talking about. Now, before I continue, if you're enjoying the face field chaos, I do suggest that you smash the like button and hit subscribe. It does me massive favors. I'm trying to build this audience to a staggering number.
There is no fucking way dudes that are this insecure are getting any real pussy. Like, I've seen this guy make posts about the women he's getting. They're all, like, at least 30 plus and, like, single mom, you know, Walmart shoppers. Why bother? Like, as if you need to put in any fucking effort to get chicks like that. Just retarded. SV donates 666. Well, she knows her cars. Thanks for the donation, SV.
Hopefully it's going to allow us to keep roasting grifters on the internet like this guy and many, many more, instead of becoming one, so I don't have to show myself out to make a little bit of dime.
Okay, this is how much we got to pull with this time. You see? So we're pulling the... Ooh, you see that? Positive cantle tilt. My G, positive cantle tilt is what I have now. You see my fucking canthus boy? I'm literally Elias the poop. I'm literally Elias the poop without a shit mandibular plane. I'm literally...
Grey Knight donates $2. Try this one. Yohan has warned 14,000 babies could die in Gaza in the next 48 hours without aid. Good. We need less babies in the world. Fucking cares. Whoopee fucking diddly do. Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight.
I'm literally Jordan Barrett, bro. I swear to you.
So does this threading method actually work? Well, yeah, it does. You're manually pulling your skin with a thread to basically tighten it. But there are concerns, of course, one of which being permanent scarring. When you start jamming things in that subcutaneous layer, you're still going to be able to develop scarring, especially if you hit the wrong areas and the wrong vasculature, which is not a pretty thought. Another one being unilateral imbalances. Imagine you get one eyebrow to be perfect, but the other one is completely wrong, and now you have to put another thread in. And this isn't even mentioning the possibility of infections, which doesn't look like the most sterile environment in the world to be jabbing things in your face. But we're just getting started because it goes much deeper than DIY surgeries. You remember tren, right? It's a compound that we often talk about, 19-nortestosterone derivative, trenbolone. It is the one steroid that many people take and editorialize online to make it sound like it's something so amazing and unique. But what it really does is causes architectural changes to the brain, makes you kind of paranoid, insecure, and much worse things. I mean, it creates an environment that's so unnatural you can develop lactating nipples as a man, which is just kind of crazy. So yeah, it's great stuff, or at least that's what the internet would have you believe. Now look, I'm not here to virtue signal. I've been on tren before. I help bodybuilders. I'm a professional bodybuilder. I've done these things before and I understand how they work. However, I've never seen people use tren the way that Clavicular is attempting to use tren, which is to modify his facial features and improve a mid-ass physique.
Bit of a video about my experience on trenbolone and enthate. So tren is like a very intense steroid, and there's a lot of common misconceptions about trenbolone, so I kind of want to clear the air.
Yeah, this kid literally has no fucking clue what he's doing.
And, make a little bit of a documentary about my experience on the compound, whether it's worth it.
There is absolutely no reason whatsoever someone who just wants to improve the way they look, no reason for anybody in that kind of category to ever take tren. Even pro bodybuilders who are like trying to get ready for a show, like a lot of them are choosing not to ever take tren because it's not particularly beneficial. Some of those dudes are still taking it the last like 2 to 4 weeks before a show just to accelerate their metabolism to help with weight loss and maintain muscle mass. But if all you're doing is trying to get like a good looking beach body type thing, like just to be attractive to women, literally zero reason to ever take fucking tren. The only steroids you should ever consider taking if you're in that kind of category of dudes where you just want to improve the way you look, testosterone and masteron. That's it. Literally no reason to take any other fucking drugs, and maybe growth hormone, but that's it. No reason whatsoever. Those are the drugs that have the lowest risk of fucking side effects. They're not particularly fucking harmful. They're not particularly high risk for causing things like gynecomastia. So why would you ever take tren? It's just stupid. It causes fucking brain damage. It can give you bitch tits. You're going to be prone to anxiety, and this can be permanent, lifelong. Just because you stop taking the drug doesn't mean the anxiety is going to go away. A lot of people who take tren have permanent, lifelong anxiety issues. It also causes extreme paranoia, can also like make you extremely prone to anger issues, rage outbursts. There are people who've taken tren and gone to prison because they couldn't control their emotional state and they ended up beating somebody in some road rage incident. Why would you take a drug like that when you can get the same results by just taking testosterone, masteron, and maybe, if you need it, growth hormone?
In terms of LooksMaxxing, or whether this is something that you should avoid at all costs. And I would say the trend is quite positive, and most of the copes that you read on the internet and like Reddit r/steroids are just completely wrong, right?
One thing that is interesting is that tren is more closely linked to severe anxiety, paranoia, and hallucinations than anything that will alter your face. Clavicular is already basically halfway there. He's out here stapling his face, talking about positive canthal tilt as a means to improve his life. Bro's not LooksMaxxing, he is psychosis maxing. The thing is, too, is he's using a dose that far exceeds what I would recommend for even most bodybuilders in a prep
life, right? So right now I'm currently pinning 200 milligrams, so I'll split it into 2 doses.
Yeah, this kid is just fucking stupid. I'm assuming the reason he's taking tren is because, one, he read on some forum it's the most potent steroid, so he doesn't understand how to take these drugs. And rather than just taking more testosterone and masteron, he can't use any critical thinking skills, and he just figures, oh, I'll just take tren because it's more potent, even though you can get the same effect by just taking more of a safer drug that isn't going to give you side effects. And two, he has to get these drugs on the black market. So I'm assuming whatever dealer or online website he's getting this shit from, they may just have tren. So again, rather than actually bothering to source any of these drugs properly, he just found a source for tren.
Hey VG, wanna go to the Goo Goo Dolls concert with me next month? I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think VG understands. When every cock's made to be sucked on, I just want you to come in my hand. I'll suck you off. I'll suck that brown cock.
Sure, why not? Thanks for the donation, Goo Goo, my poo-poo doo-doo. SV donated $2, let me see.
What? There's no way. Danger. Quicksand. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. What?
Alright, thanks for the donation, SV.
Per week, on like Tuesday and Saturday, for example, and I'll pin it sub-Q into my hips. That way you don't really feel the oil. It's not really a nuisance in any way.
I don't... Yeah, just outrageously stupid.
And you could save your ventral glutes for other injections like your testosterone, because right, you don't have to be pinning your delts and your traps, and that way it's just a lot of avoidable pain, right?
200 milligrams a week of trenbolone is nuts, and this is, mind you, just to achieve a...
You're not going to get any localized pain if you just use insulin needles and do a small dose every day.
More attractive face. He mentions that it grows bones, but this is just so unfounded, it's crazy. He also mentions that it's going to keep his face slim, which honestly just has no sensibility behind it at all. If we truly look at the pharmacokinetics of something like trenbolone, it just leaves you scratching your head and thinking, man, I have a feeling this kid just opened up ChatGPT and asked it what he wanted to hear from it, and then regurgitated that to YouTube with his shitty camera setup. Mind you, this guy is 18 years old, speaking as an authority about trenbolone. And what's interesting to me is people often will quote these very specific effects of trenbolone as if they're super unique and basically only isolated to trenbolone. All anabolic steroids are doing very, very similar things. everything that he mentioned in this video is reasonably is done by all steroids. This isn't a unique feature of trenbolone. Not only are the misconceptions of this compound completely deranged, we have much worse things on our hands.
50 milligrams of TRT, just had my blood work come back into range because my liver is a little bit cooked from, you know, heavy drinking, Accutane, some of this kind of stuff. So once I get that fixed up, I'll be green. But right now, bulking on Tren, you know, I just started my cut about 2 days ago, but before this I was bulking. I was able to go from about 202 pounds to close to 215 in the better part of a month, which is incredible gains. And as you can see, I haven't gained that significant amount of body fat.
Homie is boozing and blasting Accutane at the same time as he...
Yeah. SV donated 666.
All right. Will that be paper or plastic?
Mouth.
Pardon?
Mouth.
Mouth.
Please take your receipt.
All.
Yeah, chipmunks do that. There's a lady who lives across the street from me that has a squirrel feeder, and I always see squirrels and chipmunks chilling out there. I gotta get a squirrel feeder for my backyard. Thanks for the donation, SV.
And speaking of pro-plastine kids.
She wrote an op-ed.
Well,
she
that's
wrote
what
an
she
op-ed,
claimed.
and I'm talking to you about her
That's her
particular
lawyer's
case.
claims and your claims. Those are not the facts.
You reclaiming my time. You revoked her student visa
Yes,
because
proudly.
she wrote an op-ed.
And
Would
we'll do
you
more. We're
revoke?
gonna do more of
I
them.
have.
There's almost always more to these stories. Like that, was it Mahmoud or Muhammad Khalil guy? Like, the lefties were all saying, oh, he was detained by ICE and is getting deported because he was involved with a protest. That's unconstitutional. This guy had a social media post saying that he wants to destroy America. Well, like, is it unreasonable to deport somebody who is on, like, a student visa after they say they want to destroy America? There's always something more to this. I can guarantee you that student who wrote that op-ed probably has some other unhinged crazy shit, like supporting 9/11 or something, in her social media history. I couldn't fucking care less. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
He's running his trenbolone cycle. Taking advice from this guy is literally like letting a raccoon do your taxes. It's entertaining, sure, you're just gonna be homeless at the end of the year. We're still far from the end here. He posted this video about 2 weeks ago titled Update. In this video, he's talking about surgery maxing at 18 years old. Basically, he got an MRI of his head to determine what kind of implants would best suit him. Then straight after that, he headed to the dentist trying to get his teeth straightened, which costed him $7 grand, and then furthermore costed him an additional $1 to $2 grand to get his wisdom teeth removed.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is my second attempt at making the YouTube video because my dumbass forgot to...
To be fair, it looks like he might have some crooked corn niblets for teeth.
include the audio input. So I rambled and rambled for like 15 minutes without any success making a video. So that's why I'm a little upset right now. But anyway, I just wanted to give a little bit of an update.
Like, I of all the types of surgery this guy could possibly get, I think it probably is actually a good investment to get your teeth straightened early on. Because if you have a lot of overlapping or impacted teeth, you're at higher risk of dental caries later in life because you're not going to be able to actually clean your teeth properly, and like food and bacteria are going to get caught in areas that are going to be harder to brush and clean. So of all the surgeries he could get, I don't think that's very unreasonable, and he's probably saving money in the long term by doing that. $2 donated. Finish the Frank vid, please. Oh yes, we got caught up, didn't we? We can finish the Frank vid first. Thanks for the donation too.
Before we hop in the freezer so that this camera doesn't fog up. Oh, we do have some pot pies left. Ooh, maybe I should take them home for myself. So the main new product for you guys this week is our organic grass-fed cheeseburger. And some of you guys from when you were a kid might be nostalgic with, like, you know, White Castle cheeseburgers, or like frozen cheeseburgers in a packet you would get and you throw them in the microwave when you were hungry. But, you know, we did a really high quality organic version with our buns from pure sourdough, our grass-fed burger patties, and raw American cheese. So this is a really special, just like pre-cooked product, mainly for convenience. And the quality of ingredients, you know, it's way higher than anything you'd get in a restaurant. So those are cheeseburgers. These are plain hamburgers if you don't want cheese. And then we have burger patties if you don't want bread. So we have 2 cheese patties or 2 plain patties. I tried to make these as affordably as possible.
How are you supposed to, like, cook those burgers if there's already cheese on them? You're just gonna end up burning the cheese. What the fuck? Who in the hell would sell burgers with the bun? Frozen with the burger. I don't know, man. He took in $5 million in gross revenue in 2024. So someone's buying this shit.
And reasonable considering the quality of the ingredients and the price. There's our white carrots ready to cook if you guys want to do some recipes. And the 2 main special things over here on the ice cream are the chocolate vanilla swirl, which is by far the best recipe so far. Our Amish guy knocked it out of the park, and hopefully when we remake all these other ice creams, those are just as amazing and delicious. And we have a really tasty organic sorbet now. He finally made my lemon sorbet right, so the texture is just perfect. So I'm really excited for you guys to try these really high quality products. And I'm freezing, so I'm gonna get out of here. As always, guys, a lot of new and exciting products that you guys can see on all of my businesses, frank-tufano.com. And I think we're going to start doing some more prepared foods like that. I'm looking forward to doing like just a beef and rice meal, just grass-fed ground beef, organic white rice cooked in mineral water, and then just some organic white beans on the side, just as like a basic meal thing. And then we might also do some pizzas. Since we're already making the pizza crust and pizza dough, we could do the frozen pizzas too. So, you know, there's other people here and there doing stuff, but it's not as high quality, and it certainly doesn't taste good, and it's certainly not handmade as well. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that stuff over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, as always, you guys have some new stuff to look at every week. We'll go to the products, but we have the organic sourdough selection. We have the organic fruit and vegetable selection. The main we have plenty of pet food and price lower. We eat Frankie's Strange Foods. Definitely a few new.
Well, that's Frank. Still stupid. Somebody sent me this. I guess we can get through it.
When I say my personal views, I mean the right views on consciousness, right? So I said in the Chinese room experiment video that my belief is if you really take the Chinese room to its logical conclusion, you have to conclude that consciousness is not something material. It's not something that emerges from narrowly the material world. And the argument I made for that is I actually have an article on my website. Maybe it's still a draft, but I have an article on my website where I talk about this, where when you have, there's this old argument by David Hume, okay, right, where he says, no matter what factual statements you can have about the world, you can put them all together, but the is statements about the world never become an ought statement. They never become a moral statement, right? That's David. David obviously is an arch skeptic, right? He wants to deconstruct kind of making moral judgments, and he says, okay, the reality of what is has nothing to do. I mean, it might have something to do, but like you can't take mere facts and thus make moral conclusions. They're kind of two. I don't want to say non-overlapping magisteria. They kind of overlap and they interact, but they're different. You can't take.
Even normative statements are fundamentally descriptive, because when you make a normative statement, what you're really stating is this thing makes me feel a certain way. You're literally just talking about a brain condition or a brain state that certain things put you in. So, like, when you say something like child rape is wrong, what you're really doing is you're making a descriptive statement on how you feel about child rape. So child rape puts me in this brain state that I find non-preferable. Thus, I don't want child rape to happen. Like, even normative claims are fundamentally descriptive statements. It's a descriptive statement on what type of brain state something puts you in. So, that all checks out.
Just one and produce one of the others. And my argument for consciousness being something separate from matter is basically analogous. That is, it's not really the same form, but it's something analogous. And what I mean by that is, obviously, consciousness, as per the Chinese room experiment, is not merely computation. No matter what it is, your definition of what consciousness is cannot just mean a system computing something, and consciousness just appears from it. It's just like some kind of illusion tacked on, right? Whatever consciousness is, it's something different. Just because a system is computing language and giving an output does not mean it's conscious of what's going on. Syntax is not semantics. When my argument of consciousness is basically, that being said, the entire universe, the entire materialist universe, that is not involving anything spiritual or anything noetic having to do with a noose, right? That's a classical word for consciousness. The physical world as it is a giant syntactic playground, right? When I say syntactic playground, I mean there are atoms bumping against each other, there are chemical reactions, there are forces of gravity, allegedly. There are lots of other things going on in the universe. And all of them are, it is analogous to a giant computational system. It's a giant syntactic system where you have a raw material that is matter, however that is, and you have various forces, and they are acting on each other and interacting in the same way that
I don't understand how this logically follows. So just because consciousness is not computational, that doesn't logically follow that consciousness is separate from the material world. It just means there's certain conditions within the material world that are beyond computation that generate consciousness. So you might need certain particles, or like, I know there's some theories that consciousness has something to do with like quantum wave functions or collapse of the wave function. So just because consciousness isn't purely computational or even computational at all, that doesn't mean it doesn't like have anything to do with the material world.
An AI generating text, or even a simpler computer program generating text, they are just taking the raw material, they are computing.
Yeah, okay, this video is already stupid.
As to why I haven't been uploading on YouTube. It's been, what, 3 months since my last video? As you can see, I'm a bit lazy. I haven't even done my laundry since my last YouTube video, so that's kind of where we're at. But I figure I owe it to my fans to give them an update as to why the hell I haven't been uploading. There's got to be some good reason, right? So the reason is, it's because I've been doing a lot of stuff trying to work towards getting a full Trimax, whatever the hell you want to call it, surgery maxing, and this is the progress that I've made.
You are full of shit if you say you don't miss Jasmine. That girl loved you more than anyone.
No.
Don't forget who was there by your side when you were at your lowest fucking point. I know you miss her touch and her being next to you when you sleep.
Do not miss her at all, and I'm glad she's gone. Thanks for the donation, dude.
So I drove about 2 hours to get a CAT scan of my head, where they slide you into the MRI machine. It's a whole process, very expensive. I spent about $2,000 on it, drove 2 hours. It sucked, but I got that done, and now I know where I'm at for what surgeries I need, what kind of implants I could get. So I've got that all figured out. The next thing that I had to do, that I did about a week ago before I go anywhere or do any surgery, is to align my teeth. So I've got lower dental crowding, right, as you could probably tell watching this video. So I go to the orthodontist, they scan my head again, do all these weird x-rays and shit, and they say it's gonna be $7,500 for your Invisalign. I'm like, what the fuck? So I buy it out of pocket. I don't have insurance or any of that bullshit. Whatever. Money down the drain again, but I guess
Invisalign is not good. Do not get Invisalign.
It should have sent me. Hopefully having a better smile will be a halo, that halo that I'm looking for to give me that extra little boost that I've been needing. Then the final cherry on top that also kind of fucked with me a little bit was they tell me, you got to spend another couple grand to get your wisdom teeth pulled out. I'm like, you people are starting to really fuck with me and they're ripping me off and all this shit.
And he mentioned something quite scary, which this is him trying to get the halo that he needs, if you remember the reference we talked about before.
Money down the drain again, but I guess it should ascend me. Hopefully having a better smile will be a halo that I'm looking for to give me that extra little boost that I've been needing.
The words there are just terrifying. To give me the extra boost I've been needing. This is a young kid who genuinely looks fine, like he looks great. And I'm not even shitting you, like he looks better than I ever did when I was his age or am now. And that was before all of this craziness. Yet he's going to these extremes to achieve a said halo effect, yet I doubt anybody really cares that much. And the fun and wild thing here to think about is that he hasn't really reached full maturation as a human yet. He hasn't developed the cognitive capacity as someone who's 26 to 30 years old, and he's doing all of this stuff. Talk about jumping the gun. There's no difference here from an 18-year-old OnlyFans girl posting up her content as soon as she turns 18, and then a year later realizes what she's done and absolutely regrets it.
Let's see. I don't know, editor, can you try to put that right there? So as you can see, if I manage to get the thing on the screen, is the top molars are kind of enlarged into my upper jaw.
Bro does not have an editor, clearly.
What I've been doing is I have been on a pretty heavy bulk, which is why I haven't been incentivized to do content, is because I feel like I am descended from my peak. So people say, well, you actually look better here a couple months ago, so how are you LooksMaxxing? Well, guess what? LooksMaxxing isn't a linear thing. It's actually, it's just not a straight line up. There's gonna be some dips where you're bulking and you're descending yourself at higher body fat, and then you're gonna have to come back later and peak yourself when you go on a cut. You don't wanna be like these fitness influencers who are chiseled and diced 12 months of the year, because they make absolutely no gym progress. Because if you're not in a surplus or near it, and you're, not getting above 10% body fat, there's just no room on the table to make any gains. You can't do it. You need to have carbs and you need to have protein. You can't just starve yourself to death and work out and expect to get fuck all gains. It's all about the food that you eat to fuel your body to make gains. And I'm not even on a lot of steroids right now. All I'm taking is 250 milligrams of test per week and 30 milligrams of VAR before I work out.
Oh man, this is great. Here we go again. Look, do you need a calorie surplus to grow muscle? Not what you're thinking, no. A calorie surplus is suggested, but you have to understand that that's only basically 100 to 200 calories over what would be your maintenance calorie intake. You don't need to constantly be bamboozling yourself with calories just to gain weight. There's no bodybuilder in the history of time that's ever gained more than 10 pounds or 12 pounds a year in lean contractile tissue. So why are you trying to gain a pound a month? Why are you trying to gain pounds a week? You don't need to get uncomfortably fat because you're bulking, bro. You can stay lean, be happy with your appearance, and have confidence within how you look and still build muscle. Because getting obese just because you want to bulk hasn't related well to security at all. In fact, he is so insecure that he can't even record for his fans due to how much he's bulked. I think that's called disordered eating. As someone who's coached many professional bodybuilders, has his PNBA pro card, and did it physically disabled, mind you, this is complete bullshit. But go ahead, you fats don't believe me. Just keep getting fatter and less happy with yourself, and I'll stay shredded year-round with a sick jawline and a great physique.
The other thing that I did for gym selling is I switched my training routine a little bit to, instead of working out for 4 times a week, doing a heavy chest workout, 10 sets, whatever, now I'm doing 6 days or 7 days of training, and I'm only doing 1 set. So I'm doing a push day, and then I'm doing a pull day, and I'm alternating back and forth. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And if you're asking where's the leg day in there, there is none. I'm just doing 1 set of legs, 1 set of quad extensions after my chest day, and 1 set of seated hamstring curls on my pull day.
I'm assuming he's doing that because he's too lazy to train his legs. I don't know why there's people who are just so terrified of hard work. Like, it's kind of fun challenging yourself and doing things that are hard and, like, pushing past your limits. But I guess there's some people who are just terrified of training hard.
So I'm just doing 1 set per muscle group since I'm training them every other day. So I just do 1 heavy set all out to failure for my chest. And that's it. That's all you need if you're training with that many training days in the week. And I've been actually blowing up a lot, making a lot of progress in the gym. I'm actually the biggest that I've ever been without having too much detriment to my facial aesthetics. Like,
okay, this is just getting insanely dumb. Does this man really think that he's smarter than all of the fitness industry, the fitness influencers making millions of dollars, all of exercise science research, and every professional bodybuilder on earth? You need to do more to look even remotely jacked. This is the physique he's achieved whilst taking steroids, mind you. The list literally looks like the 15-year-old version of my physique. Maybe if he tried a little bit harder in the gym and stopped being so fucking lazy, he might actually have a solid physique. And for those of you who are wondering if his physique is obtainable naturally, for the love of all things holy, it absolutely is, brother. And in fact, you could probably achieve that physique in about half the time that he did, naturally. This really just lets me know where he's getting all the money for his surgeries, this video in specific. He's basically using that big laundry pile back there as collateral for the bank so that he can loan out the money to buy all these surgeries. And I just can't believe his gym routine. Basically, 250 milligrams of testosterone, 30 milligrams of Anavar, and 0 leg days. Do you know studies show that skipping leg days actually shrinks your brain, literally, which explains a lot here. Bro's out here looking like a KFC drumstick, all chest.
American Donatellers, have you ever suffered from long-term depersonalization/derealization? Didn't you ask me this like a few weeks ago? Like I've had that, but it doesn't last long. It usually lasts a matter of like hours, not like constantly nonstop for like weeks on end. Thanks for the donation though, American. 3/4 donate $2. Spill the lentil beans on the negative 411 of Invisalign. What you know. I don't know what the fuck you're asking me. Thanks for the donation, dude.
And absolutely zero thighs. I don't know how that's a LooksMaxxing. Honestly, he's not even a LooksMaxxer. He's just a cautionary tale with a YouTube channel at this point. While he has some seriously good pieces of advice, which can be tangible and useful, a lot of his advice is so estranged and those useful bits are so far and few between, I would actually err on the side of saying probably don't watch his content because it's self-destructive more than it's constructive at all. And for those of you who are interested in LooksMaxxing and actually being attractive, there's a very simple path to that. I promise it doesn't require all of this nonsense. I would say about 90 to 95% of your attraction will come from these few things. Lose all the body fat you can, sustain around 10% body fat, basically year round. This will ensure that your jawline is more pronounced, your facial features will be a better look, and when you take off your shirt, you get the added benefit of being something that everyone looks at because they're impressed. And if you're over 21, I do suggest getting Botox injections. Get ahead of the wrinkles before they actually happen. Those age lines come from the wincing and movements within your face. Get rid of the shit before it becomes a problem, and you'll be good. You can also create this positive canthal tilt too with Botox. Simply putting the Botox in your forehead, but leaving these areas loose allows you to kind of have that facial structure that everyone so desires. Apply a ton of moisturizer to your face about 2 times a day. Clean your face about 2 times a day. Use a topical retinoid maybe a few times a week. This is going to shrink your pores and make sure your skin is relatively clear, and get a fade. Job's done. Honestly, it is that easy. And if you want to skip all of that, you can just head over to Eastern Asian countries and call it good too. They'll accept just about anybody over there with some good coin. But seriously, you don't need to be doing all of this. I mean, he's building a audience from sensationalism. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. People online, when they can show conviction in a massive way, when they can preach in a way that makes it sound like they couldn't believe anything else from what they're doing, it buys people in. It gets people interested. It makes people question what they're doing and if it's actually as effective because they're not as convicted. So when you can be manically convicted to your ideology, you're going to recruit people no matter what. You could be doing some of the most insane things and people are going to find it valuable because you believe it's working. Dask Faziski. I believe I'm pronouncing that completely incorrect, but that's the guy. He says the most dangerous man isn't the one who is intentionally doing things as a villainous act. He's the one who's doing things because he thinks it's right and righteous, meanwhile committing sins that he doesn't even realize. And this is a case of that righteousness coming to show. It's conviction, it's recruiting people, it's gaining an audience that is radicalized with these ideas that might not actually play out in reality as well as it could seem when you talk.
3/4 donate $2. 411. Have you ever heard someone refer to info as 411? Anywho, why is Invisalign bad? I've never heard of the term 411. Invisalign has high risk compared to other orthodontic, like traditional procedures. So it's kind of a weird racket. So Invisalign works with orthodontists, and not everyone technically qualifies for Invisalign. There's like diagnostic criteria that would, make somebody either be a good candidate or a bad candidate for the procedure. If you have really fucked up, jacked up, crooked ass teeth, that sort of pressure that the Invisalign, is designed to create, it's not going to actually fix certain misalignment issues that people have. So if your teeth are only slightly misaligned and you only need like a little bit of pressure in one direction to like align your teeth, you may be a good candidate for Invisalign. But if there's like a lot of fucked up shit going on with your teeth, it's going to require like, traditional surgery or like braces or something. But the issue is these orthodontists have like a financial incentive to recommend Invisalign. So they're going to kind of ignore some of the diagnostic criteria and be like, oh yeah, you're a good candidate for Invisalign, because then they get the kickback. So it's hard to actually determine whether or not you're a good candidate for Invisalign, because a lot of these orthodontists are going to be incentivized to just give you the Invisalign thing anyway, because that's how they make their money. On top of that, because of the way Invisalign works, you're at very high risk for dislodgement of your teeth. Your teeth can actually get pulled out of the root, and a lot of people have just had their teeth fall out after using Invisalign. And again, because of the way Invisalign applies pressure to your teeth, it can also cause your teeth to crack, like literally just break. So you're better off just getting other orthodontic surgeries or braces versus Invisalign because they're lower risk and they have better proven efficacy. Thanks for the donation, though, 3/4. Bangus donated $2. Let me see. Oh, wow. Be cool if real life was like a RPG and you could get quests from talking cats. Oh my god, that's a nice kitty. Oh. Oh my goodness. They're holding hands. Oh, what a nice kitty. Oh. Oh my god. That's a big fuzzy round boy. Oh. Oh my god. Have you heard of this movie? Yeah. I hated a large portion of this movie because there's like a crying baby in it. I literally had to skip like 30 minutes because there was like a crying baby. It was cool, but that crying baby really fucked up a lot of that movie for me. Thanks for the donation, Bangus.
So generally, but I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below. Tell me. And YouTube thinks you'll like this video. So.
Hey, Gum Gum. Yeah, hey, Gum Gum. Oh, that's a good baby. How's my baby? No.
Literal threads to pull your skin back to achieve a negative or positive canthal tilt. I don't know what these guys want anymore, but LooksMaxxing, that's what we're talking about. LooksMaxxing, trying to look impeccably good, undeniably attractive to achieve the halo effect. How can you look so attractive that you could walk up to any girl and pull her number? Or as a female, how could you look so attractive to, do females even need to do something like that? I think you just exist and it's, I don't know. Anyways, clavicular. We talked about it before in previous video. This kid is actually insane. From taking Tren at 18 years old to literally pinning his face full of needles to pull it together in order to achieve a positive canthal tilt. Something like this. Do I have a positive canthal tilt already? I think this is a positive canthal tilt. Is that more attractive?
Hey Bobby, look, I'm American. I think I'll use my credit card.
Anyways, it's not ending there. He's done a lot more, from crazy facial treatments, wanting to get surgery, getting his face reconstructed, like completely reconstructed, having multiple facial surgeries, or at least trying to afford them. And mind you, this is a kid we're talking about, someone under 20 years old. Probably one of the worst ideas to put out there on the internet is to modify one's body using drugs, literal self-done surgery, really expensive surgery, spending up to sometimes 5 figures to look a specific way. It's radical, especially for someone who's under 20 years old, kind of preaching that this is the path to get the halo effect. This is the path to look more attractive. But we have an update on him. Something new has happened, and I don't even know if I'm surprised, if this is what I expected, or if this is completely something that just shows he's spinning downward really fast.
What's going on, guys? It's Clav here. I want to do a quick little YouTube video in my new and improved studio, you know, because I haven't really done a lot of content. I've been dealing with some stuff in court. I got a DUI, so I guess I'll have a little bit more time to do YouTube.
So right out the gates, we
Whoa, this guy's unhinged. He has an alcohol addiction.
Look at his most recent video and he gives us an update, just like all of his videos. He gives us an update at where he's been for the past several weeks because he, once again, hasn't uploaded, hasn't been consistent, which he admits himself, but people still love him. And he has a DUI. He has a DUI already in his life. One DUI. I think things are going down the right path if you ask me. To achieve a DUI at this age is actually perplexing. Actually so perplexing. I guess at any point in life it's perplexing, but at this age, that's crazy.
My biggest point of contention recently has been online dating, and I've been really getting my ass handed to me, and it's put me in a really bad state of mind. This shit is getting under my skin, so I figure I might as well do a complaining segment and kind of inform you guys on what's got me so uptight. I was so mad when I was making this. I turned red after about 2 minutes of thinking about online dating, okay? This shit is an utter absurdity that it allows to go on, because this has got to be the main dopamine crisis of the century.
Imagine this. A kid spends all of his time trying to modify his self-image, his outward appearance, but never actually takes care of himself, his own psychology, and his ability to approach people, talk to them, and even convince them to possibly go on dates with him. Imagine that someone so consistently concerned with themselves is unable to attract people who are willing to, I'm sure, talk to people who are very outgoing and willing to communicate with other people, willing to sacrifice a little bit of themselves to spend time with that other person. And that's a good relationship. I think that's how you start relationships, is at first you have this sort of offset, right? You have self-interest really low, and that's how you get someone in the door because your interest in them is really high. And then over time, the relationships come back to like this point where your self-interest kind of matches your interest in them. And so things change a little bit. But when you begin a relationship, self-interest is always super low and interest in the individual is really high. And likely the same goes for them. But when you're just self-interest all the time is up here and you're so worried about how you look, how you approach people and getting laid, you're taking trend and you're doing all these other things to try to appeal yourself to other people. Yeah, I don't know if those skills really garner any sort of fruition. They don't grow. You don't cultivate a personality. You just become this sort of interesting individual that becomes isolated in his own little bubble. It's weird. Weird. It's kind of just very unhealthy, I think. And to talk about this even more, because I think it's so important, when someone uses anabolic steroids, specifically Trenbolone 2, this is so important, and specifically adolescents, like this study says here, specifically, it is plausible that adolescent exposure causes increases in trait levels of impulsivity and aggression. Adolescent AAS users report significantly higher levels of impulsivity, aggression, and risk-taking behaviors than other controls. And this is in a group compared to people who are of age taking anabolic steroids, whatever that's really classified as, to youth. That's the control. So imagine you control someone like this, like you put a control next to them who is maybe grown a little bit and not taking AAS, how radically outfield they are. And I think we just see this. We're talking about a guy who's got a DUI who tries to jump his ass through loops to get all of these random surgeries and perform these self-surgical procedures at his house and taking Trenbolone at a young age. I mean, we are talking about a true impulsive behavior set right here in front of us, real time.
I don't know where I'm going wrong, which is why it's so frustrating. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And there's just no real way to be logical. And when you're texting these girls, there's no feedback system. They'll just stop texting you out of nowhere. Like you'll just be texting a girl having a normal conversation, just no reply. Casper the Ghost.
So what he's referring to is women ghosting him, probably
he doesn't know shit about dating, period. Clearly, you can look at the videos he's made of the girls he's like gone out with or picked up from the club. Again, they're all over 30, single mom, Walmart shopper types. And as soon as you hear anything like, I'm having a normal conversation with a girl on Tinder, and then suddenly they just stop talking, he doesn't understand how online dating works. You're not supposed to have a normal conversation on fucking Tinder. You need to, as quickly as possible, set up a date. The girls on Tinder who are going to have a normal conversation with you, they're just looking for attention, and they're not going to fucking go on a date. So you're wasting your time by chatting and getting to know them. People are there to actually date, get dick or pussy, and some chicks use dating apps as like a form of social media just to get attention. And if you're wasting your time over the course of like hours or days or whatever, just having a normal conversation, getting to know somebody, you just have an attention seeker. And then when they stop messaging you, they're getting attention from somebody else they're more interested in. Like, it's as simple as that. So you should be setting up a date within the first few messages. So he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Because now he can drive his own car. He is too concerned about his self-image to spend time with anybody else and doesn't probably have anything interesting to bring to the table. Boring. Yeah, I don't know. When I talk to women, there's a lot of things I can say. I've traveled the world. I've lived in other countries. I've operated multiple businesses. I have real estate. I have drive motorcycles. I have, a nice and fast car, like all of these things, right? And I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying like, these are things that you can talk about and they lead to huge and massive.
Check Discord DM, very urgent. What in the fuck? This is the chick they got to play Ellie. You can also tell that she's gotten fatter after each episode. How does that even, like, how is that even possible to gain weight that quickly when you're filming a television series? Like, the casting decisions they made for the show are just baffling, particularly for Ellie. All the male characters, the casting made sense. Most of the other female characters, the casting made sense. Like Dina, yeah, fine. That other black chick that Ellie killed in the game, that was actually pretty perfect. But Ellie and Abby, like the two main characters, just what are you thinking? And then for Ellie, it's like, did somebody hit themselves in the head with a hammer over and over again? This fat midget ugly girl plays Ellie. Jesus. Thanks for the donation, Gig.
Very prevalent
of conversations about people's values and their opinions and all these really cool things. But when you're just sort of like a kid in his room, you know, pinning himself with Tren and injecting his face, disparity between interesting and non-interesting sort of closes. And you begin to not be so interesting to someone who is looking for a partner that might provide them some sort of experience or something to learn or they could look up to. And I think what we're experiencing here, what Clavicular is experiencing, is just being ghosted, dude, from taking anabolic steroids, creating an impulsive environment, getting a DUI. His track record on paper doesn't look so hot. And I think it's pretty clear to see if your mom's dropping you off at the date, you're not doing so great. You're not doing so great already.
How about you do me the courtesy of, after all these conversations and text messages, you think I would have talked about your hobbies? Bitch, I want to get in your fucking pants, goddammit. I want to fuck you, and I want to convince you that I'm not trying to fuck you, which is why I'm having the conversation.
There's your answer. Probably the reason that you're getting ghosted.
Yeah, again, this guy does not understand online dating.
Because it's way too blatantly obvious that you're just trying to manipulate a woman so that you can get into her pants and do a hookup, which, to be honest, it's a disgusting
that's what online dating is.
Culture. It's a very real culture in the United States, but he's probably pursuing these women for one thing only, and it's pretty detectable. I think women have a pretty good LiDAR to when men are doing this types of behavior. Now, some women don't mind. They still know it's happening, but they don't really care.
Do you just look at my boobs?
Other women definitely aren't looking for that, and so if they're not interested, they're probably just gonna shut off right there and then.
Hey, my eyes are up here, man.
Wow, this is turning into a dating video really quick, and I don't want it to be that. More just a update on the insanity of what Clavicular is doing.
So I've got excellent pictures. NT location. You think I'd be the most normal motherfucker in the world, okay?
Won't it look desperate if you ask for a date right off the bat? You're on a fucking dating website, retard. You're both on a dating website, and you think it looks desperate if you're asking to go on a date right away. What are you, fucking stupid?
It's not like these girls are watching videos like this. They're not watching my YouTube channel of me being a train wreck, injecting fat dissolvers and putting shit into my eyes. You know that shit. I got pictures with my family, going out to dinner, doing regular.
Like, it's like going to a racetrack and then, like, thinking, like, how about we don't race? Maybe we should just sit around and do nothing. You're at a racetrack. You race at the racetrack. You're on a dating website. It's for setting up dates. So idiotic.
Regular activities. I could be a regular old motherfucker and they wouldn't even know it. But still, I have a high rate of matching. I do well. I get a ton of matches on Tinder, a ton of matches on Hinge, more than I know what to do with at this point. But the issue is, you'll have a conversation and then you try to go and make plans and they just can never be fooled.
Yeah, so this is the halo effect at work. It's the glorious effect that everyone is concerning themselves.
I'm further back in the stream. But goddamn, you cry and whine more than Frank does. Quit bitching. Also, vegan yogurt is fine, it's literally just made from soy or coconut milk, it tastes good. Lastly, don't be mean to your cat, he's just a hungry boy.
I do not understand the appeal of turning soy milk or coconut milk or whatever, foods that taste good into being imitations of animal products that taste bad. Like, would you be interested in eating soy shit or coconut shit? Like, if people ate shit out of the toilet and then somebody had the idea of, let's make imitation soy shit, would you want to eat shit-flavored soy? Why? Like, yogurt is garbage. Shit is shit. Why would you want to eat imitation shit? Like, I'd rather eat chocolate, you know? I don't know, like, something that tastes good. Thanks for the donation, though. Richard is gay.
So stupid bitch ass niggas like you were talking shit about my nigga Trump's tariffs, but it looks like my nigga Trump is a G and he's making America great again.
Go ahead. They got caught again.
500, the Dow Jones, all up today. They've recovered everything that they lost since Liberation Day.
Look at her face.
Things are actually going really, really well. This whole thing about GM, the CEO saying that they're going to be, there's going to be a $5 billion cost to the tariffs. But she also said something very important. She said this will not be passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, they're just firing off a shit ton of employees so that they can save money so that the tariffs don't impact them in a way where they're going to have to drive up the cost of vehicles. So, yeah, they're just firing off employees. No big deal. You know, Trump, who wanted to bring back the American workforce, you know, his policy is just firing off workers so more people are unemployed. No big deal. You can still buy a car for the same price.
So where is it going to come from, you might wonder? Well, they brought down their projections. Not all of it will be passed. No, she said none of it will be passed on to the consumer, that this will come out of the profits. They projected 14 billion profits. They're taking that projection down to 10 billion. This is what we want. Okay, but wait.
We want corporations to make less money. So the tariffs make corporations less money. Mission accomplished? Okay, well, thanks for the donation. Richard is gay. Or not, Richard is gay. Kid Boo. I'm getting a headache from my neck hurting.
With and trying to achieve when they're LooksMaxxing. But the problem is, if you don't have a foundation to the house you've built, it all sort of just crumbles down the shitter. So basically, if you're an empty person, if you don't have much value to provide outside of your looks or attraction, you kind of just are this empty person. You're not really that much of a value add to someone's life, more of a detractor, to be honest. So it's interesting, right? It's interesting because what we see is someone who's going to the furthest extent to look attractive for other people and for himself, I'm sure, yet fumbling so many times down that path that he's not able to get dates, he's not able to get hookups, he's getting DUIs, and God knows what the hell is going to happen to him within the next 2 years even. And here's a solid piece of advice. If you're trying to LooksMaxx, if you're trying to be the most attractive individual in the circle that you're in, the best way to probably do that is, one, focus on your character traits, like developing a good character that has a lot of value to add to someone's life, because I think undeniably almost everyone would agree that that's one of the most important features of a true man able to get other women, right? And two, I think your looks are going to be massively improved without doing any of this radical stuff if you just lose weight. And this is something I say so many times for guys that want to actually improve their facial architecture, how their face sits and looks, and specifically how they fit into clothes. Losing weight is amazing ideas. Like if you're 15% body fat, going down to 13 or 12% body fat can improve your face so much, and you just have like an amazing jawline that pops out of nowhere. If you keep screwing around and keep letting yourself get a little bit too, you know, fluffy, it's not a great look. It's not a great look. And when you go like this and have like a triple chin, pretty obvious in almost every picture, yeah, you're going to take away a little bit of that attraction. You don't need to do facial injections. You don't need to do, you know, threading to get negative canthal tilt or whatever. You don't need to do massive surgeries to restructure your face and get chin implants and all of these other things, nose jobs and stuff. Look, if you want to do those things, totally get it. But if you're concerned in doing them is to be attractive, I think there's some really easy steps to take first before going down that route, which is definitely losing weight. You might ask me, how can I lose weight? Look, I'm not even trying to plug it. There's a free school group down below. We offer coaching programs for free, nutritional programs for free. Everything's taken care of there for you. So if you really need help, that's a great resource down there. But truly, it is simple as increasing your protein intake, entering a slight and moderate calorie deficit. So find out where your weight is sticking stable. How much do you have to eat for your weight to maintain? Maybe let's just say it's 2,500 calories. Now what you're going to do is you're going to reduce, let's say 250 calories from the total calorie intake that you have. So now you're eating 2,250 calories. A good portion of that is protein, somewhere around 1 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. Why do I say 1.5 instead of 1? Because protein is very thermogenic. If you eat more of it, you waste more energy and therefore leading to a better result when you're cutting. Also, you want to be weight training at least 3 times a week with progressive overloading, training as close proximity to failure as you can, meaning if there is a bar and you're pressing it off of you, that's not the end of the set. The end of the set is when you're like, oh my fucking God, oh, and you're trying to like hold that fucking weight up and you're trying to push up, It's like, holy shit, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking do this, man, I don't know. And you finally get it up, that's the last rep, okay? A little bit of an exaggeration in my movements there, but it's true. And then do a little bit of cardio. The American Heart Institute recommends 10,000 steps per day, okay? 10,000 steps per day. The average American gets 3,000 steps per day. So if you just bump your steps up to 10,000 steps per day, you're not only serving yourself health-wise, but you're also gonna be turning a lot more fuel, getting leaner in the process. This is the path. If you wanna look attractive, you don't need to do some of this radical stuff. You can truly just lose some weight. A few pounds here and there really does a lot, trust me, and maybe work on your personal development. Like your personal development as a person. Be a person. Have substance. Stop doing this all day long and get into this path of thinking, man, I have to LooksMaxx. Swipe. These people are so attractive. I'm not this attractive, dude. In the reality of the true world, when you go down and you touch fucking grass, no one cares. No one actually cares that much. So whatever, I don't know. Subscribe or something. It helps me a lot. The sponsor of this channel is me. So if you could help.
An issue within the PSL community, the fact that there's no definitive and universal rating system. There's plenty of garbage out there, like, posting individual rating threads for people to rate you or the AI apps, but none of them are objective. None of them are standardized. So, someone within the PSL community actually has made a standardized system, and I'm here to share it with you guys. LooksMaxxRanked.com is a completely free and ELO-based system where you upload a photo of your head, and it's going to put you against head-to-head matchups to see where you are objectively. This is an interesting new concept, something that I haven't really seen before to do these matchups. So check it
out. This guy literally doesn't understand what objective means. Beauty is subjective. Only a mind can perceive beauty. A rock does not see you as ugly or beautiful. Dirt does not see you as ugly or beautiful. The sky does not perceive beauty. Only a mind can perceive beauty. So, there's no objective way to measure your appearance.
Check it out. Let me know what you think. Once again, completely free. Anyway, back to the video about retatrutide, aka the ultimate good. So what exactly is a GLP-1 agonist? Well, the agonism of the GLP-1 receptor is going to help us decrease the calories in portion of the equation by increasing hunger control and appetite suppression. It's also going to have its effect on gastric emptying, which means you're going to stay full for a little bit longer. So having a lesser meal frequency is much more favorable for people trying to lean max. Slower gastric emptying will also reduce post-meal glucose spikes and decrease demand on insulin secretion. So obviously, if you're able to eat less to satiate yourself, you're going to be having a much easier time staying in a calorie deficit and maintaining that calories in, calories out equation that we're talking about. GLP-1 agonism is also going to help improve insulin sensitivity as it enhances glucose-dependent secretion. So unlike semaglutide, tirzepatide and retatrutide, the dual and triple incretins, also have the biggest effect on the GIP receptor. So retatrutide's obviously got the strongest affinity for the GIP receptors than any of the other GLP-1 agonists. While retatrutide is primarily a GIP agonist, it also has the GIP-R agonism, so you get an array of benefits that come from that the monoagonists like semaglutide obviously don't produce. So GIPR is highly synergetic with GLP-1R. So if you don't know what GIPR is, well, it's highly synergetic with GLP-1R. So it's got that really good anti-nausea effect, so that explains why people don't really get sick on retatrutide and Mounjaro, well, they do on Ozempic. So in basic terms, semaglutide basically makes you not eat because it makes you too sick to eat, whereas Reta and Terz have a lot more specific mechanisms of action.
No. The nausea is mostly due to the dosing schedule. So basically, they only expect lazy diabetic fat fucks to ever want to inject these drugs once per week. So they've tried to do everything they could to extend the half-life of these drugs to minimize the dosing schedule, but when you're injecting only once per week, what ends up happening is you end up getting a large concentration of these drugs in your serum at one time, and then it slowly lowers throughout the week. But because of that, like, huge initial spike, that's what's triggering the nausea. People avoid having those nausea-like symptoms if they inject very small doses every day. And again, the mechanism in which it lowers your appetite, it has nothing to do with the nausea. So he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
How the fuck did you only eat 4,000 calories per day when you were obese? I literally don't believe you. You said 4,000 yesterday. Either you were skipping workouts or you weren't eating 4,000 per day. Literally not possible to look that bloated on 4K calorie.
That's great. Thanks for the donation, dude.
That actually work through your brain, your pancreas, and actually work on adipose tissue itself. So GIP-R seems to be highly active within the adipose tissue itself. So it has an extremely positive effect on insulin sensitivity, and also increases blood flow to the adipocytes. So GIP-R even helps with nutrient partitioning, which you've probably heard about if you looked into Tren before, since it enhances the lipid oxidation. This is obviously a different mechanism than trenbolone, so don't take that out of context. I was just using terms that you might have been familiarized with before. Retta has these super unique properties that the single and dual agonists do not have. So TERS has a super small affinity for the GIP-R receptor, before you yell at me in the comments, but it is nowhere near Retta, so it's not even worth mentioning. So let's talk about the glucogen agonism. So this is where Retta really stands out from the dual and single incretins. So glucogen is going to increase your heart rate and cardiac output. So what does that mean? More calories out. This also has an effect on your satiation and has another mechanism of slowing your gastric emptying. So this is really like putting all the puzzle pieces together. Glucogen has a multitude of effects on the liver and adipose tissue. In the liver, it increases liver cell survival and increases liposis, which creates free fatty acids. It also increases thermogenesis and liposis, which further drives the free fatty acids to convert into ketones. So this is literally forcing your body to burn excess fat. Most studies will indicate this is probably going to increase your caloric expenditure by about 150 to 200 calories. So let's talk about the muscle retention on retatrutide versus the other GLP-1s. Obviously, all the GLP-1 agonists are going to lead to fat loss, but we don't want to just lose weight. We want to lose adipose tissue and retain as much lean muscle mass as we can.
Do you know how many calories are in one cupcake? Or a fried donut? And you would literally eat a whole box of them, a dozen donuts or 6 to 12 cupcakes in a single sitting once or twice a week. Plus your other meals and 10 in vegetarian 4K calories LOL.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for letting me know. Appreciate the donation, dude.
Ozempic has a horrible amount of muscle loss, with an average of 23 to 30% of the weight loss being from muscle itself. Tirzepatide is slightly better, but it's still in the neighborhood of 15 to 30%. But retatrutide is only at 8 to 12% of the weight loss coming from muscle mass. This is mostly due to the glucogen and GIP anabolic signaling. So obviously retatrutide is going to be the most conducive to bodybuilding, LooksMaxxing, whatever you want to call it, because you're going to retain the most lean muscle. Let's talk about what this stuff can do for your lipids. This is especially important if you're someone who's using gear. So Retta has demonstrated significant effects on lipid metabolism in clinical studies, improving key markers associated with cardiovascular and metabolic health. Retatrutide will help you get into that 99th percentile to your blood work and put an end to all the diet 30 copes. It also has benefits for your liver, which is especially good for people like me running Accutane, orals, and a bunch of other compounds. So the studies show it has a lot of benefits on your liver, with a 40 to 60% reduction in liver fat due to the enhanced fatty acid oxidation. This basically means the liver burns fat for energy instead of storing it. That's very good for you. So there's not really a consensus on dosing protocol, but I'll tell you what I did. I was already on GLP-1 agonists, so I could get away with starting a bit higher. I started at 7.5 milligrams, now I'm on 10 milligrams. If you're already on a GLP-1 or used the GLP-1 before, you could get away with this as well. But if you haven't adapted to GLP-1 signalings, I would start at around 2.5 milligrams for the first week. Then the week after that, you could bump your way up to 5 and see how you're feeling. The only side effect I noticed is that my arms felt a little bit weak for some reason the day after I first dosed retatrutide, but besides that, I had no nausea or no issues like that. So to conclude,
Yeah, retatrutide is extremely good. He's not wrong about that. Most people should probably be on Reditrutide.
We've been trying to
I've had a dipshit do something similar to me.
contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
Really need a Panigale V4. Somebody does that. Just rape their ears. Nicker donated $2. Yeah, I've seen that. It's not funny.
Of the experiment. This is before the software update. It is destroying everything. Just like that, the Cybertruck is updated and it should not be crushing any bananas.
Yes, amazing.
Please, is that you?
That would annoy the ever-living fuck out of me. Fucking dumb cunts can't drive. Thanks for the donation, Nicker.
You should have tried this when you were fat and bloated. Does this stuff really work?
Did you know mixing watermelon and salt will boost energy and reduce belly fat?
No, it won't.
Mixing banana and black pepper will
No, it won't.
detoxify the...
Yeah, it's just stupid. Thanks for the donation, 21st. That's not smart to do without a helmet. It looks like it would hurt.
One of them wants to return.
Because
They're
this
not
is
happy there.
ludicrous that you would say that children that have been kidnapped from their homes.
Let's take this from the beginning. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Phidias. Politically,
Is what he's
because
saying untrue?
It's profitable for him.
Is it true or not? It's
So
a
you
simple
took-
answer.
So you took the two people that are
Animal Liberation donated $2.
Okay, this is going to be one of those videos that I'm going to start with a picture. And the picture is right here. This is a picture of a mouse lying down. Except that in the right picture, this mouse is no longer alive. In other words, this picture shows us a mouse that passed away and now appears to be kind of different. But what exactly are we seeing here? Well, this is really what this video...
Isn't that just infrared? Yeah, no shit. If you're not generating heat, you're not going to produce infrared.
is about. This bizarre phenomenon is known as UPE, ultra-weak photon emissions. a previously hypothetical phenomenon that was actually believed to exist based on what we know about biochemistry inside a typical body. But up until relatively recently, it was completely unproven and it was impossible to see it. Yet here, in this recent study, researchers definitively showed us that UPE seems to be real, and living bodies, and actually anything living, seems to produce a kind of a biological light, or I guess...
No shit. You generate heat. Like, how in the fuck do people think infrared scopes work? Like, yeah. Is this news to anybody? Has, has nobody seen the Predator films? This is stupid. Thanks for the donation, Animal Liberation.
Hating me in Cyprus, and you said that you have evidence. They told you that they have evidence that I'm a Russian asset.
Min, shut your fucking mouth, dude. You say the stupidest fucking shit in chat. There's no such thing as biological light. There's light.
On top of that, the evidence is what you post.
What do you think infrared is?
On your feed that gets millions of views and shared by pro-Kremlin accounts. That makes you an asset to Russia. You didn't go to Ukraine. You didn't
Just
go
put
to
it on 2x. Ah, fuck, wrong link. Oh my god.
Okay, this is going to be one of those videos that I'm going to start with a picture. And the picture
This guy's
right here. This is a
videos
picture
are
of a
fucking
typical body,
shit.
But up until relatively recently, it was completely unproven, and it was
Okay, you can't even hear him.
impossible to see it. Certain bacteria seems to produce a kind of a biological light, or I guess biophotons, representing an extremely weak type of luminescence that's different from any kind of other bioluminescence produced by certain bacteria. And so in this video, we're going to discuss the study you can find in a description by Salari and the team you see right here, with the title Imaging UPE from Living and Dead Mice and from Plants Under Stress. In essence, definitively showing us that UPE seems to be a real phenomenon, or showing us that most life on Earth seems to emit a certain type of light that basically disappears when that something dies. But here, let's start with something super important, just because all of this can be easily misinterpreted.
Yeah, no shit. Oh. Do I have to watch this? It's so dumb.
Interpreted pretty quickly. Here, we're not talking about anything paranormal or some kind of an aura claimed to exist by various psychics, because that is not at all what we're discussing or what's being investigated. These are actually...
Is this a good exercise selection? I don't have access to cables. What would you do instead?
Yeah, dude, infrared. Infrared has photons of light. Like, this is just a dumb topic. David, donate $2. Is this a good exercise? Like, oh wait, I'll play that back. I didn't hear it.
Is this a good exercise selection? I don't have access to cables. What would you do instead?
This is how I've grown my forearms into a pair of meat sticks, starting with the extensors. Now, a lot of people will tell you these muscles won't grow much, so you don't need to do them, but for me, it's not just about
just do dumbbell wrist curls.
Size. Trainer Limb has helped a ton with elbow pain and strengthening my wrists, especially if you use cables to target the deep wrist lock position, which you don't really get from dumbbells or barbells. For the flexors, or the
that is not true.
Real girthy part of the forearms, I've been using first knuckle push-ups for the extra stretch through the deep muscles that control the fingers, and for the extra serratus and shoulder
That's a stupid exercise.
Stability benefits of the push-up position. Last is the brachioradialis. Any palms down or neutral grip curl will do. For everything, I've been doing just once.
Yeah, just use dumbbells and barbells. The stupid push-up thing with his hand is dumb, but the other exercises are fine. Thanks for the donation, David.
Well, there is such a thing as bioluminescence, if that counts as biological light, that is.
There's no such thing as biological light. Bioluminescence is just a term that describes an organism producing light. There's no such thing as biological light. There's certain wavelengths of light. You can look at the electromagnetic spectrum, but nowhere on the electromagnetic spectrum does it say biological light. There's just light. And again, infrared is a type of photon. So, like, this is just stupid. Why is he talking about it? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Stop acting like a fucking nigger and shut the fuck up. Watch the goddamn fucking video and shut the fuck up acting like a nigger who thinks he knows what he's talking about. Guys, it's just infrared light, everyone's a retard. Actually, you're the retard.
That's great. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Show biological and electromagnetic emissions coming from within various cells and produced by very specific chemical reactions. And as a matter of fact, this glow is much weaker than what we typically detect with an infrared camera. In this case, this is also a biological electromagnetic emission, but it's based entirely on our heat, or basically the emissions in the infrared produced by humans and pretty much all other warm-blooded animals. For example, here's a picture of some kind of an animal. Take a guess what this is. And so instead here, we're talking about something that seems to be emitted in optical light, so basically something that's technically visible to our eyes, but something that's super weak, or basically light that's so dim that it would be impossible to see without some kind of a specialized camera. But first, I guess let's discuss the main theory behind this and how all of this works, and then discuss what was discovered. Now, first of all, this is obviously not the first study about this, and not the first attempt to try to see this. There are quite a lot of different studies out there that try to create similar effects by doing something slightly different. For example, in this study, researchers tried to create a very similar response by causing stress on the skin through the illumination with the ultraviolet radiation, or basically here, by exposing skin to the UV light, researchers hypothesized that we're going to be seeing more ultra-weak photon emissions. But the science behind this has been explored for many decades. This was previously referred to as biophotons, and technically it was kind of controversial before, but the idea was pretty sound. And here the assumption was that typical biological processes should be able to create some kind of light, or essentially form of chemiluminescence, kind of similar to what we see from, for example, fireflies, but obviously much dimmer. Or just to rephrase this, the same chemical response that makes fireflies glow technically happens in many different cells, but just to a much smaller extent. Although just to correct myself right away, in case of fireflies, they actually do produce something referred to as luciferase. You can learn about this in one of the previous videos in the description. But the overall principle...
You're a nigger. A nigger. Nasty fucking nigger. You're an ignorant, racist, nigger. Go fuck yourself. My lawyer's involved.
Alright, thanks for the donation, 21st.
Is not so different in the sense that it basically relies on oxygen and certain proteins, which results in an oxidation reaction that then produces light. And so a typical firefly controls the brightness of the light by controlling the amount of oxygen. And so even as far back as 1980s, several scientific teams claim to have detected various types of light coming from various types of tissues, and here we're talking about light detectable with our eyes, with initial explanations basically suggesting that this was a reactive oxygen species that seems to cause protein oxidation that then triggers electron excitation and the creation of light. But in most cases, a lot of this light was very dim, and so technically it could have been coming from something else entirely, and so for many years this sort of remained more or less unproven. But the explanation behind this, and of course why this was important, encouraged a lot of teams to pursue this further and to try to prove this once and for all. And here the reasons were obvious. A lot of these oxidizing agents were normally the result of stress. In other words, when the body is stressed, or technically when the cell is stressed, such as for example when exposed to ultraviolet radiation, various reactive oxygen species are normally produced inside the cell and start to interact with a lot of different proteins. And so technically any stressor, like for example even a poison, can produce these oxygen species, which then causes the transformation inside the cells, causing certain proteins to kick off certain electrons, which basically releases light. And in theory, this would basically allow us to physically see stressed organisms, which would be super important in any medical field. You could use this to physically see what body part or what cell is potentially causing the distress. Here, the stressed body part or the stressed organ would physically light up and become easily visible. And so this remote monitoring of stress has a lot of potential application: medicine, animal husbandry, or even agriculture, because this also applies to plants. But up until recently, once again, this was kind of hypothetical. And so here we have this new research coming out of Canada. A team from the University of Calgary decided to test this once again by using what's known as EMCCD, an image sensor capable of detecting and quantifying a single photon event, making it possible to observe any light, no matter how.
Dude, I swear I heard about this like 20 fucking years ago. This isn't news.
How dim it is. So basically here we're talking about a super sensitive camera, with the experiment itself involving mice, living and then dead. Now, not all of you might find this ethical, but this is basically done in most labs, especially medical labs, so this is just something that's generally accepted in the scientific field. But in a nutshell, they took 4 mice, they injected them with anesthesia, and placed them on a heating mat. This was done in order to prevent their bodies from cooling down and in order to maintain relatively constant temperature. The mice were then euthanized, with the researchers observing how the light from mice changed over time. And it becomes pretty obvious that the light coming from these mice, actual optical light, not infrared light, dropped dramatically within approximately 1 hour. In this case, definitively showing researchers that individual cells inside mice were producing visible light until the cells became dead, and proving that there was a significant drop in these UPEs following the demise of mice. But in order to see if this is actually something that happens to living beings, or if this was some kind of an experimental fluke, they did this again with plants as well. And so here, by using leaves from several different trees, and by causing stress inside these leaves, in this case by applying certain chemical agents, they definitively showed that it was really the reactive oxygen species that were causing all of this light. And so basically here, by increasing stress in certain regions, they increased the amount of light. This is something that was visible for many hours afterwards. But after approximately 16 hours, the leaves returned to normal, indicating that they were no longer stressed, and the oxygen species were no longer being produced. And interestingly, it was the application of what's known as benzocaine, or a local anesthetic, which seemed to produce the highest amount of emissions. And which also confirms that this is definitely something we can use in diagnostic techniques, and something that can be used to observe if a plant or an animal are healthy. But obviously this was very, very low intensity. Here we're talking about just thousands of photons per centimeter square per second, or something that will be practically invisible to human eye. Nevertheless, this extraordinary experiment almost definitively confirms that these biophotons, or UPEs, seem to indeed exist, and basically all living beings and everything alive seems to produce just a little bit of light, but we just cannot see it. Although here I think it would be interesting to find out if there really is an animal out there that can actually see this somehow. I mean, for all we know, maybe cats can actually see the mice that way. Although here this is just pure speculation. But here some of the biologists that read the study also suggest trying.
Okay. It's literally shit that I already knew, but...
So you don't have evidence.
The evidence is what you posted on your feed, which is anti-Ukraine, which is Kremlin propaganda. But do you know what a Russian asset is?
So you don't have evidence.
Do you know what a Russian asset is?
So you said you did an investigation.
Anyone watching this can look at your feed and see the evidence. You've been repeating Kremlin lies and lines continuously. That is the evidence that you're a Russian asset.
You know, this is a lot of people. What is their opinion? They want peace.
This isn't an opinion.
They want to stop the war. So this
but you don't want
Jeffrey
to stop the war.
Sachs,
You want to continue
professor of Columbia University, has the same opinion. John Mearsheimer, Elon Musk, a lot of people have the same opinion that they want.
Phidias, do you understand what a Russian asset is? Do you know what that means?
Explain me, please.
It is an asset to Russia. An asset because you're putting out, someone putting out their propaganda, one-sided propaganda. That makes you an asset to Russia. Why are you doing that?
My friend, it's different for you to say that I say something that you disagree.
Okay, so you don't have an answer to this.
And it's different for you to say that I'm a Russian asset.
Okay, I'll be more direct then. Who paid for your Moscow trip?
Okay, let's go into this conversation.
No, who paid for it? Did you pay for it?
Let's go into. I paid everything with my own money in the Moscow trip, from my own pay.
And why did you do that?
And why did I do
Why would you spend your own money going to a Russian military celebration during an active invasion of the biggest country in Europe?
21st Savage only tells real talk, nigga, as the blacks say. How is the divorce going? Fine. Smoothly. Fine. Did you hand the papers into court? How much longer? Jasmine officially no longer Burgess, as in when are you officially divorced?
This sounds incredible.
I'm not answering those questions. Thanks for the donation, 21st. Is that a two-stroke engine? Well, it's a 12-cylinder. Sounds very buzzy. That's 4-stroke. Huh.
Yet another Russian agent.
Yeah. These people are just absolutely pathetic. Like, absolute scumbags. They should be locked up. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. What's crazy about those cars is the fucking brakes are terrible. I don't know how the hell they ever raced those with such shitty brakes. Thanks for the donation, Russian asset. Forgot my namification, donated $2. Let me see.
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know how we get down. What's that, an E? E for everyone, nigga.
Hey, where we at, gang? Where we at with it?
Connecticut. The block is hot, but the muzzle gets hotter. Fuck, nigga.
If you don't know, you gon' know.
Each of us has 2 loving parents.
Alright, thanks for the donation, dude. How are you feeling these days? Just got here, joy. Just kind of tired and run down from dieting. I am eating more, so I've been feeling better. Today I'm really wiped. I'm not even sure exactly why. I had a really good training session. But I am really fucking wiped today. I need more sleep. I just want to go to bed right now. Thanks. Well, he didn't donate, but thanks, Ethan, though. Oh, hey, Gum.
Speed Racer is back.
Speed Racer was a pretty hilarious anime. I gotta watch some of those again. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
Calling the Mach 5. Come in, Speed. Trixie calling the Mach 5.
I'm in the middle of a race, Trixie. Don't talk to me now. Can't you wait till it's over?
Speed, listen to me. Eloise's brother Hap has got to win. Please let him.
Why should I let him win? I'm out to win myself. Now sign off and don't bother me.
But Hap must win so that he can pay for the doctors to make his sister well. And besides, Hap would then be hired to manage a big car factory. That would solve all their money problems. Please let him win, Speed.
It doesn't matter to me what his reasons are for wanting to win. I wouldn't be playing fair if I let him win the race on purpose.
But Speed!
I'll see you when the race is over, Trixie.
But Eloise is ill. They must have some money. Please let him win, Speed. Speed! Speed! Speed!
You weren't hurt. Come on, get up. I've been playing with the power of the Mach 5. I wanted to see how many cars I could smash with it, and your father tried to stop me before somebody was hurt, and he was right. Stop crying. It won't do any good. And anyway, you have a lot of work to do, starting right now. I want those plans back. Hey, you take them. Bye-bye and thanks. Come back here. Those plans don't belong to you. Hey, stop. Stop or I'll stop you. Hey. Hey, I can't see. Let go.
He was about to pull the trigger.
You're a girl. Wait, I met you at the airport.
You have a good memory, Speed. I put a string of flowers around your neck. My name's Connor. Tie him up.
Okay.
Clever of you to hide those designs on that windshield. It makes my job easier. To get them, all I have to do is take his car.
You'd better not.
There's food inside that room. Good.
What's going on?
He's waking up.
Could that be Spritle? Spritle, what are you doing here?
Speed, we found you.
Wait.
There's a hilarious one. Oh yeah, don't talk.
Look at those clouds up there. They're beautiful. And it's a perfect day for a drive.
Oh, Trixie, please stop talking. I'm trying to figure something out.
Oh.
Fucking based. Thanks for the donation again, Speed Racer.
Speed Racer is the bomb.
Cat Tree is home and host
Oh my god.
to the felines.
Oh my goodness, that's a big orange kitty.
Here we have Maui and his ledge.
Oh my god. Oh, there's Joey. He's so sentient.
And who are you?
Oh
Who are
my
you?
god.
What's your name again?
Oh my god.
What's your name?
Oh, Jesus
Something with a
Christ.
J?
Whoa. Can see the sentience right here.
Oh, Joey.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Oh. Oh my god, that was amazing. Thanks for the donation, Ethan, though.
Will we ever know what happened to Milk Jar?
Yeah, somebody told me. Apparently he made a fuck ton of money investing in Ethereum. He's probably a millionaire. And he's just traveling around the world. He's been just going through Europe. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
My friend, I didn't went to the Russian celebration
Do you know
of
what
the
VE Day
Victory
is?
Day.
It's a celebration of military
I
celebration.
didn't went to the Russian celebration of the military parade.
So where did you go?
So I went to. So you see, you have here a lot of wrong information.
Well, no,
First
this
of
is
all,
on your
you
feed.
said
This is
you said
VE Day.
based on some people that you talked about that they are my.
Except for that crappy live-action Speed Racer movie that came out a decade ago. God, that film sucked.
I never saw it. Apparently the video game that came out alongside the movie was really good, though. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Because
This is based on what you are
and
posting
then
on
you are
your
saying
feed.
that I went
Yes.
to the Victory Day to
I didn't
celebrate
say you
the
went to Victory Day
parade,
parade. You
and,
went to the Victory Day
and I didn't went. So you have
You
a
used
lot
the
of
word
false
VE Day.
information. You are,
But
you
this
are,
is what you posted.
You are
Yeah,
posting,
Milk Jar is still
You posted
You are
alive.
from
posting
Russia.
misinformation, propaganda.
What propaganda am I posting?
That fake information. I didn't went to the military parade. I'm telling you, have any
The
evidence?
entire
You have
weekend
any evidence
was a
that
celebration of the Russian military.
I'm paid by Russia? You don't.
I didn't say you're paid by Russia.
You
I said you're an
don't.
asset
You
to
don't.
Russia, which you are. And you propagate Kremlin lines from that room, a seat in democracy in Europe, against a country, for a country, invading the largest democratic country in Europe. You are doing that every single day. This isn't my opinion, and it's not the opinion of the people that I've spoken to. This is a fact based on what you've posted on your own feed. Anyone can check this out. Why are you putting out Kremlin lies? Why did you use your own money to go to Moscow during Victory Day celebrations?
Okay, so this is a bigger thing. So first of all, Turkey, Turkey, the country, invaded my country 50 years ago.
When was the last time you'd worked live?
Maybe it's been a couple weeks. I remember somebody paid me for twerking a little while ago. I think it's been like a couple weeks. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
Ago, Cyprus. So it's a similar situation. What happened? So I don't see any.
So would you go to Turkey?
Wait. So with Turkey, we're trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, it's possible Milk Jar's donating to Spherage. I know he has a lot of money from Ethereum. Again, in all likelihood, he's a millionaire. And like Spherage's Bitcoin wallets or crypto wallets are public. So if you wanted to do some digging, you probably could find out. But like some of his, some people have made videos about some of the crypto transactions he's had. He has some whales donating tens of thousands of dollars to him. One of those people might be Milk Jar. So who knows?
With the Cyprus problem, with talks, with pistols, trying to make communication with the other side and to find compromise and solve the problem.
So why haven't you gone to Ukraine?
Wait, my friend. I think this is the right approach, that we should try to stop the war now and try to have diplomacy. And that's what I just said. I want to stop the war now and start doing diplomacy.
Your job isn't to do diplomacy from the European Parliament.
My friend,
that's not your job.
If my job is not to do diplomacy as a member of the European Parliament, then what
Multiple
is
MEPs I've spoken to in this building said, why on earth is he going to Russia? It has nothing to do with diplomacy. Do you accept that Russia invaded Ukraine and that they're the aggressor?
Yes, I accept
so why would you go to that country?
But also I accept that Turkey invaded my country.
So would you have gone to Turkey 50 years ago and put out
But I
Turkish
still
propaganda?
speak, we as Europeans speak with Turkey to solve the problem.
50 years later.
Is something changed? They are not the aggressor 50
Russia
years
is
later.
actively putting bombs and missiles into Ukraine every single day.
And Turkey actively put bombs in my country, Cyprus, but we talk with them.
And would you
as European
Turkey
Union?
propaganda?
So you are saying that what we are doing with Turkey is wrong? That we are talking with them?
I think going to Russia and not
what we are doing with answer the question. What we are doing with
Russia.
Turkey and talking with them to solve the
I'm not
Cyprus
talking
problem.
about Turkey. I'm here to talk about Russia. But this
Turkey.
is my interview. This isn't your show. I'm asking you why you went to Russia and put out Russian propaganda. You didn't go to Ukraine and you didn't do any diplomacy. You put out propaganda.
You don't own the interview. We are having a conversation.
I invited you for an interview, but you're not interviewing me right now. I'm interviewing you.
Question. But my friend, this is what you are accusing me, that I'm a Russian asset. I'm trying to explain you with some things that I think that I'm not.
You put out videos saying that Russia was entitled to take Ukraine because they speak Russian in some of those territories. That's from the Kremlin.
I didn't say that they're entitled to take.
You said you quoted referendums.
I'm just saying that there is a lot of things that meet the eye that we don't consider.
No, there isn't. This is a cut and dry situation. Russia invaded Ukraine and they have no
Russia invaded Ukraine, I agree, but there is a lot of things under this that we underlook. We don't see the root causes of the problem.
The causes of the problem are Russia being an
my friend, and also Cyprus. Turkey is the aggressor, but we still talk as Europeans.
I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm talking about Russia.
I'm talking about Turkey because
you can talk about whatever you want, but right now I'm asking you about Russia. I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm not talking about Cyprus. You went to Russia.
So you disagree that everyone here in the parliament wants to have diplomacy with Turkey?
I'm not talking about Turkey. You're trying to derail this into talking about Turkey. I'm not interested in Turkey right now. Turkey can be another conversation. Today I'm talking about Russia because you're putting out Russian propaganda now, today. Why are you doing it? And you're avoiding my questions. You keep talking about Turkey. Turkey is irrelevant in this situation.
So you said you have evidence
on your feed.
So all this stuff that you said that I interviewed all these people, and I have investigated and I have evidence.
My conclusion is based on everything that you posted and based on a few interviews, but mainly what you posted, that you are a Russian asset.
You said now, based on few
That's no different how I started this interview. No, it isn't. It's no different.
Interviews.
You put out Kremlin propaganda.
My biggest haters. By
the way this guy's acting, it seems pretty clear to me that he was paid directly by the Kremlin. Because he's super nervous. The way he's acting is just weird. Could understand somebody being defensive about being accused of being a Russian asset, but like the nervousness he has here is just bizarre. And this is a guy who posted videos on social media licking toilets. Like, this is an attention seeker. So he's not the type of person I'd imagine to get super nervous just in a confrontational interview.
Wait, I'm enjoying this. That's why I'm here. This is beautiful. This is your right to...
No, this is really serious. You brought this entire parliament into disrepute.
This is your right to attack me. This is my right to express my mandate as I want. And you're doing your job, and I'm doing my job. And this is beautiful, because this is democracy. No, having diverse opinions is not a joke.
You have no interest in democracy. Because you shield for Russia, who jail journalists, who throw everybody who criticizes the state in prison, who have phony elections, and then you say you care about democracy. How is that caring about democracy in any way? Russia is the opposite of every single thing this parliament
What
stands
is
for.
democracy? Define democracy.
The opposite of Russia. Elections. Freedom of press, freedom of information, freedom of speech. None of those things are allowed in Russia.
Democracy is citizens deciding for how they want to be
you think that's the case in Russia?
You know, my friend, 70% of the people of my country, Cyprus...
I'm not talking about Cyprus right now.
...elected me. I'm from Cyprus. They elected me. They voted for me. I was the most voted person in Cyprus. And they elected me. And they want to normalize relationship with...
Do you still keep in touch with anyone from school?
No, not really. I still have some people from my high school on my Facebook friends list, but I don't ever talk to them. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Russia.
No, they don't.
They do.
The people of Cyprus
Of
generally
course.
are not interested in
My
normalizing
friend,
Russian
you can
relationships.
go not only check all my videos and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of views and likes and comments on the videos that I post, but also see the polls of what the public opinion, not only Cyprus, but also Greece, that I speak Greek, 65 to 70% they want to normalize
I'm not talking about Turkey or Cyprus right
with Russia. So my job as a member of the European Parliament representing those people is to try to normalize relationships with the European Union and Russia.
Putting out propaganda is not diplomacy. It is
My
putting out propaganda.
What propaganda is
that the
to start discussing, to start diplomacy.
But that's not what you're doing.
Propaganda.
That's not what you're doing.
This is what I'm doing. Everything,
you were repeating Kremlin press releases.
every video that I say we need to start discussing. We are mad that we are not in the table of discussions as Europeans, but we had the opportunity to discuss and we declined. So we need to start talking.
You're under investigation right now from this parliament. What are they going to find?
I'm not under an investigation.
As of last week, they said they were under investigation.
Who said so?
A press release.
Show me.
You can Google it after this interview. I'm telling you that's the case.
Please.
Yeah.
So what are they investigating?
They're not officially investigating.
They said
that explains why he's so nervous. They're gonna find something on this guy.
Looking into your Russia trip.
You see here, my friend, you are
also
just here repeating a lot of lies. You said you have evidence,
you're saying no one looking into
and your only evidence is that my videos,
which are cut and dry Russian propaganda. Bilias, I know this is a joke to you. I know this is a joke.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah, this guy accepted money from Russia, and he's super fucking nervous about it. He probably did this interview because he thought he could, I don't know, convince people out of investigating him or something, or this would somehow absolve him and he could talk his way out of it. But yeah, this guy's screwed. I can almost guarantee you they're going to find something. He probably accepted money through cryptocurrency or some shit like that. Wouldn't surprise me.
This is what democracy is. It's amazing.
No, this is you undermining everything.
Your job for you to do it and for me to do it.
Why haven't you been to Ukraine if you care so much about democracy?
I've been to Ukraine.
Since the full-scale invasion?
No, I haven't.
Why not? You went to Russia. Why didn't you go to Ukraine?
I want to go.
Why haven't you? It's been 3.5 years.
I want to go.
Why haven't you?
I want to go, but to be honest, I'm a bit afraid because what I'm posting might some people find it aggressive, but I want to go. So I started with other MEPs looking into it to go also to Ukraine.
Why haven't you gone? You seem so interested in Ukraine. You seem to talk constantly about Ukraine and Ukrainian politics, about Russian-speaking people.
I'm telling
you haven't been. Why?
Recently, I've been to Russia. I was also
so you didn't go to Ukraine?
To Russia about Russia all the time. So I'm looking into it with other MEPs.
I don't think you have any interest in going to Ukraine because you would have done by now. You're obsessed with Ukraine. You talk endlessly negative shit about Ukraine, and you haven't been.
By the way, I consider that I love the Ukrainian people, and is that they want also to end.
Thank you, Gum Gum. Well, I guess that's that. Yeah, step on my keyboard. What are you doing, Gum Gum? What are you up to? The hell is this Gum Gum doing? What is this big kitty up to, huh? My goodness. What's this big Gum Gum up to? My goodness. Wow. Oh my goodness. What a good baby. What a good baby. Wow. So handsome. Oh, you're so handsome. Yeah, you're a good kitty. Oh my God. Oh, I love you. My good little sweetie pie. What's going on here? good cuddle cat. That's a good cuddle cat. So nice and cuddly. Oh, shit.
It seems like a war zone or something, like all the buildings are completely cracked and like falling apart. It literally look like missiles have hit them or something.
This is better than 99% of hip-hop, R&B, or rap music the fucking niggas come up with.
It's not bad. Thanks for the donation, Nicker.
Our capital city here, the most western point of Africa. Feels a lot different so far to quite a few of the African countries I've visited, but right now we're in the bank center of the city. We're just going to head to what I've been told is the ghetto, not my words, a local man's words that we're going to be meeting up with. So let's head into the ghetto, and then we'll see what other parts of the city we can discover today.
Ça va?
Ça va.
I hate how they add music to these fucking videos.
Arrived at this local market here. They're selling old couches. It's kind of your classic African market. A lot of these clothes come from donations from overseas. So a lot of the clothes that get put in clothing bins around the world, you know, you'll see at your local supermarket or something. A lot of them actually get sent to Africa and for the idea. You good? A lot of them come with the idea of getting donated, but that's just a lot of the time it's not how it works. They get divvied up and then the high quality ones get divided and bought for mercy.
Nice.
You good? Huh? What do you say? What's he saying?
Money, 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 money.
Money.
Yeah, but don't worry.
Yeah, so they'll divvy up the clothes and then sell them. So yeah, a lot of like charity clothes gathering here is.
Mint Condition donated $5.
Attention all Dogtown residents. This is Kurt Hansen. We've got some important guests in Dogtown. Stay out of their way.
Congratulations. You work for us.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I won't forget this.
Oh, yeah.
President Myers sent us.
7 years ago, this scumbag stabbed
That's
every...
fascinating. Listen, why don't we go in the back of the shack?
We're here to negotiate, Slider.
You didn't happen to see anything at all?
Sorry. You see the small flickering star to the right?
Yeah, that looks just like Uranus.
Recon, data gathering, it's all done.
Boring. When it comes to the spy game, to me, it's all instinct. Do you mind if I join you?
What? No introduction?
Allow myself to introduce myself.
You must be on touriste.
Actually, I'm English.
It's not that great. Thanks for the donation, Mint Condition.
Not actually donated. Okay, so we've just arrived in the ghetto, as my friend calls it. Here we are with Biggie.
Biggie, yes, what's up?
Biggie named after who exactly?
After Biggie Small, look at this, B.I.G., the rapper.
Call a crib, same number, same hood, it's all good.
You're a rapper, right?
I'm a rapper, yes.
Sama loxo dafa dis sama door day dal dama rap di top my Shakil Jean Mortal Kombat dugu ta sen ka door mbot taxab.
Biggie's going to be my right-hand man here in Senegal. We're going to go and explore around, like, this is like your neighborhood, right?
My neighborhood, yes.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. So we're just entering the cattle market. It's gigantic here. Massive cattle market.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, you want a photo?
Le sum ko, le
He put his arm around me to take a selfie, but then he just held the selfie camera up to my face and just took it at my face. So. All right, I'm following you through here. What's the tactic? So we're here with Sarado, who's a local cow herder here. How much do these cows sell for? They must be quite expensive, eh?
1,000 euros.
1,000 euros?
Yes.
Whoa. It's a status thing, right?
Yeah.
Do people not get injured? Because like I've seen cows like running around, they're not unpredictable. Can you not get hurt?
Sometimes like new cow that came from the wild, that are new here, sometimes they are violent. And he has witnessed some people that got like
there you go. Right.
Severely hurt.
Literally just got threatened by a cow. Oh. Yeah, this is actually sketchy. I don't have the energy of the locals to scare off the cows, and they're swinging their horns left and right. Arrived at Biggie's house here, and he's got a really cool project here with some of the local school kids. Let's go check out his house. You can see these holes in this roof. One night, apparently, Biggie was asleep and he hears this massive collapse of concrete. Comes out and see all these buildings have collapsed. But you're saying that people are still living in here?
Are still living there, yeah.
And you thought they would leave, but they just stayed there, right?
Yeah, because they cannot afford to pay to another place.
Right.
So they get this place for free. Even if they know that it's risky to live here, but they don't have choice. Anytime that part also might collapse.
So we're actually going to go inside the buildings that we saw the ceiling had collapsed. So you can see we're inside now, and just look. There's still people living in here. And look. Like this has got to be on like the brink of collapse again, right? There's cracks everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. She's living here with her kids.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I feel scared just being here for 5 minutes.
Even us, we are not safe, you know?
Yeah. And you're saying that the lady here lives with her kids?
Kids, and her husband abandoned her.
Her husband abandoned her?
And got another wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now she's living here and with her kids.
And just being in here for, 20 minutes or so, it's like I kind of want to get out, so...
I couldn't help but laugh at these. I love that one of the comments said this vid reminds them of N-words fighting at Walmart in Detroit, lol.
When you think of the word
Sneed. 7.Sneedy 777 quintessillion 777 quatuordecillion 777 tridecillion 777 duodecillion 777 undecillion 777 decillion 777 nonillion 777 octillion 777 septillion 7 777 sextillion 777 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777,777 Sneed 777 duovigintillion 777 unvigintillion 777 vigintillion 777 novemdecillion 777 octodecillion 777 septendecillion 777 sexdecillion 777 quintessillion 777 quatuordecillion 777 tridecillion 777 duodecillion 777 undecillion 777 decillion 777 nonillion 777 octillion 777 septillion 777 sextillion 777 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777,777 Sneed Nigger Burgess.
Alright, thank you for that, Anonymous. Appreciate the donation, dude. Well, that's a chimpanzee. I'm glad I'm not a chimpanzee. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
Imagine living here, day in, day out, with your children, after your husband's abandoned you.
You know, the whole house might one day, and yeah.
I would say not might. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, right?
When, yeah.
Not only does the roof collapse and they're at risk of getting crushed, but then all the rain gets in and floods the place.
Like when the water comes.
All right, we're going up to the terrace, but I don't know, you're a bit nervous, no? Look at this. Is this safe to walk on? I don't think it is.
Yeah, but let's take the risk.
I mean, I don't want to put you first. You sure?
Yeah.
That looks so sketchy, mate. Mate, you're loose. This whole terrace is on a lean. And obviously, dude, you're standing on cracks. You always live life on the edge?
Take the risk.
The woman who lives here with the family and everything didn't want to be on camera, but she was very pleasant and everything, and Biggie is her neighbor, so he helps her out a bit.
If only those chimps were more ev-loved like Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
I don't know if that'd be a good thing. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Traveling the world, one of the most important things for me is having access to internet when arriving in a new destination. This takes out so much stress and eliminates so many...
No. One meal a day.
We're going to go to a really rich neighborhood later today,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like a war zone or something, like all the buildings are completely cracked and like falling apart, and there's everything in between. But majority of the houses look pretty good, right? Like they're in good condition, like your house and things.
And the family that was living here, I know them.
The flooded, abandoned one.
And after the flood came and they left.
Is the flooding getting worse every year?
Every year, yeah, getting worse.
What do you think that's from?
Well, maybe climate change.
Right. These are actually the pumps that they use to pump out the water. You can see one's hooked up there. And they try to pump it out. Obviously that one's a lost cause. It's got reeds growing through it. But that just kind of shows the state of how the world's changing and everything. It's people's house to feel the culture, and they Yeah.
And one, I think he's Brazilian.
Brazilian.
And he was talking about how he traveled the world with a tight budget.
Right.
And then he mentioned couch surfing on his video. A team for girls. It's a big challenge because in Senegal, girls don't do sport in general. But we.
Why not then they wouldn't be so nasty to each other?
Again, I don't know why you'd assume that. Like, human beings are apes, and we're sort of intelligent, I guess, and we're pretty nasty to each other. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
You wanna bet Biggie helped her out in exchange for that Senegalese booty?
I don't know about that. Thanks for the donation, Jacked Up.
We have the idea like to create a club for girls and then make them want to do sport. Sheep, and the old white one was bought by one of my guests that stayed here for a long time.
Oh, really? A couch surfer?
Couch surfer. In Africa, we have that belief. If you have all white sheep in your house, that can stop the bad luck.
Got it.
That is coming to the. It's perfect.
If you don't, no worries, but if you have, you know, an extra few dollars, $10, $20 or nice trees and high gates with barbed wire on them and things like that. It's like a different country, just a 40-minute taxi ride. Same city. Here's a quick reminder of what the slum was like. Quite the contrast with those beautiful trees. Yeah, and the streets are so clean. We've come through this shopping mall, and is that a cinema there? Yeah. Nice promenade there. A bit different to the other side of town, eh?
Definitely, yeah, very different.
The neighborhood that we just went through with the amazing houses, it's like politicians, businessmen living there, yeah. How hard is it?
What's the best and worst country to live in Africa?
I don't know. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Well, I guess South Africa would be the best, technically. It's the wealthiest on average. Thanks for the donation, though, dude.
For somebody to become self-made from the neighborhoods that we started in to living in those, can you come from those neighborhoods and make it to the top?
You can be from a rich family.
Right.
And then maybe you inherit money from your father or your parents, and then you end up living there.
Yeah.
Or you can start from nothing, do business, and become a rich person.
Do you know many stories of people coming from the ghetto and making it out here on this side of town?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Right. So there is a path. It's possible.
It's possible, yeah.
Right.
But not very common, but it's possible. And thanks to music or wrestling, they made it.
Right.
Become rich and then buy houses somewhere around here. And when I see these people, I'm very happy. Because 10 years ago, they didn't have anything. See, they were struggling. That motivates me.
Right.
That maybe...
N-words and chimps. Little to no diffs.
No, but like, Austin, come here. She's trying to take it. It's playing.
Just get the face out.
Is he gonna get him? Oh. Oh no, he's pooping. He's so scared.
Yeah, that reminds me of people. Alright, thanks for the donation, Nick Gurr. Dodo donated $2. Was it a mistake to not let Russia nuke China during the 1969 Sino-Soviet War?
Bro, I puked 3 times last night and have been in bed all day sleeping sick as a motherfucker. The puking is gone but now I'm just woozy like a housewife on Xanax. I never get sick, I want to die, nigga. Been eating applesauce and drinking tea, feel like I'm 9.
Ugh. I don't feel so well myself. I think I need some more sleep and I really hurt my neck. It's giving me a headache. Thanks for the donation though, retard. Appreciate it.
Places occupied by the Soviet Union. The Russians took everything they could. We have not yet presented a count of this list. Under the Tsars, the Russians took from the Chinese sphere of influence territory exceeding U.S. east of the Mississippi. Think the Chinese didn't notice? Yes, they noticed. But Mao has other gripes against the Russians. Stalin, in the lead up to World War II, had made sure to set up the Chinese to fight Japan so that he wouldn't have to. So that leaves him just fighting Nazis, not Nazis and Japanese. And then Stalin takes Mongolia, which had formerly been a part of the Chinese sphere of influence. And in the Korean War, he's more than happy to fight to the last Chinese. And then during the Chinese Civil War, the Russians tell Mao, oh, stop, Yangtze, you need to take a little breather here. Because he wants a divided China, like the divided Germany he has, and then the divided Korea he's going to get. You want to be surrounded by these little broken states around you if you're a continental power. So it's not surprising that the Sino-Soviet border war of 1969 breaks out during the Vietnam War. And the Russians come to us, the Americans, and say, is it okay if we nuke these people? And the United States says, no, there's no way it's okay to nuke these people. And Mao figures it out. The one that wants to nuke you, that's the primary adversary. So prior to that moment, the United States is the primary adversary of both Russia and China. Now with this, they're primary adversaries of each other. And this gives the United States a swing position of team up with A or team up with B. And the United States teamed up with China to overextend Russia in the Cold War because I'd always felt that the Soviets were the bigger threat in those.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. At least we get cheap shit from Temu. Oh wait, that's the wrong link. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donates. What's the worst place to live in Africa, though? Your mom's house. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Maybe one day, me also, I will buy a house.
So this statue is like over 50 meters tall, and believe it or not, it was built by a North Korean company that builds statues. It's the largest statue in Africa, and it's gigantic. And you can see the similarity between some of the North Korean ones. They look very similar to the ones I saw in North Korea when I visited there. You can actually go all the way up to the top and come out the top of his head. There's like a viewing platform. So the statue behind, and then amazing view of Dakar there. Pretty wild that this is built by the North Korean company, North Korean government. It's gigantic. They sure know how to make their statues. North Korean towel. Here's a photo.
Let me back up before they shoot this bitch. I get caught in the crossfire. There she go.
Hey Tim, we got.
There she go, ladies and gentlemen. The moment y'all been waiting for.
Oh,
Damn.
They got her.
She carrying you. Yo, free. Yo, he's carrying it like a book bag. You can't carry the other girl like that, though. He was carrying like a transport. He carried it like a transport. Hell yeah, like a book bag, like a transport. You missing one more though. It was two, nah? We got it. Okay, okay. You can't carry the other one like that. Hurt my back.
Okay, I know I haven't been streaming too long, but my neck is really fucking bothering me, and I think I'm just gonna have to lie down. I really fucked up my neck doing overhead press today. I don't know how, but I should probably lie down before I just aggravate it more. But big thanks to everybody who donated in Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I should be on tomorrow around the same time, so I'll see you all then. I might not be training tomorrow because my neck is so bad. I'll have to see. If I'm not training tomorrow, then there's a good chance I'll do an early stream. But thanks again, everybody. My left arm is the same size as my right arm. It's just the angle. Right arm, left arm. They're the same size. It's just the angle of the camera and everything. But sweet dreams. See you all tomorrow.